Lord, 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 Lord. Luka. In the weeds, in the weeds, in the weeds. Welcome to a new era of In the Weeds. It is a Tuesday. No, you don't have to change your screens. This is not FMC. This is In the Weeds, the new era. 5 days a week. But you came to In the Weeds on a special occasion, ladies and gentlemen. You came to In the Weeds on a very special occasion because most people know, if you watch FMC, that this show is known for a few things. FMC is known for not talking about any wrestling. FMC is known for talking about trash reality. It's known for talking about basketball and all types of other things. We talk about Cobra Kai, we talk about Nickelodeon, we talk about South Park. But most people know they come here, Laker Nation, for a sermon. Today. So I think the best way to open up this new era of In the Weeds with Jeremy Lambert, with Joe Pearl every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with your boy SP3 joining Jeremy on Tuesday and Thursdays. We're going to kick off the Tuesday era with a sermon. Praise the Lord. Do the sign of the cross. Whatever you believe in, whatever you do. If you don't believe in anything, you don't have to do anything. But you got to believe in one thing, that there are people brought into your life to guide you the right way. And then there's Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka in a industry that has nothing to do with him, of professional wrestling. No one, not Tony Khan, not Paul, Triple H, gotta follow the GPS and the coordinates and all of that, and this is what we do. Levesque, Hall of Famer, he couldn't weave this type of tale. Vince McMahon at his heights in the wrestling world. We don't want to talk about anything out of there. In the heights, he couldn't craft a work as prevalent, as convincing as Rob Pelinka going to Nico Harrison and saying Luka Doncic is a risk. He's got a drinking problem. He's got a weight problem. You don't want that problem. Anthony Davis, look at Anthony Davis the last 2 years, top 5 MVP. He was probably showing them clips of FMC. He was like, you see this young man right here. You see this young man. He believes in Anthony Davis. Nico, I need you to believe in him as well. And Nico's like, I was friends with him when he was a part of the Nike camp, and I was training with Kobe, and I'm close with Rob Pelinka. And you're absolutely right. I need someone who's a part of the culture. And Rob Pelinka blessed the Laker Nation. He blessed the Laker Nation, Lord, because now we can praise and worship, or Havalu in Kaseva, which is Slovenian for praise and worship. Luka Doncic. Oh, it is hot in here. Oh my God, it's so hot in here. It is so hot in here because Luka Doncic is playing with LeBron James. Oh my Lord, Luka Doncic, the top five in the NBA. This man is averaging basically 38-8 last year. 8 months ago, took the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals. No one believed they would take him to the NBA Finals. He took my family to the NBA Finals. Kyrie Irving and Rob Pelinka waved the tail. He was like, these are not the drones you want. These are not the drones you want. And Luka Doncic is a Los Angeles Laker. Dallas Mavericks fans, I feel for you. We got a Dallas Maverick fan that is going to join us today on In the Weeds. We got a Dallas Maverick. We got a worshiper of the Dallas Mavericks who's joining us today, and we want to get his reaction. We want to get a confession. We're going to get a confession on the first Tuesday edition of In the Weeds. Oh my God, you got a sermon, a live convention. Oh my God. Praise and worship. Praise and worship. By the way, I am Pastor SP3. I am Pastor SP3. Oh, and I am hot. I'm so hot right now. Let me take off this ridiculous. I'm wearing this jersey. It's a Tuesday. Oh, but look at that! Because we're gonna be the NBA champions. We're gonna be the NBA champions because the Los Angeles Lakers, ladies and gentlemen, before Saturday at 12 a.m. Eastern, technically Sunday, February 2nd. But on February 1st, before we beat the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden, ladies and gentlemen, we had a 2-year window. At best, to make it to the second round and lose. To make it to the second round and lose. Because Rob Pelinka couldn't figure out a way to build around Anthony Davis and LeBron James after he kind of pooped the bed. I was gonna say S word, but it's too early. Pooped the bed in regards to that. And we in church. I can't do that. What am I doing? I'm thirsty. So he pooped the bed and ruined our 2020 championship team. 6 years with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, one of the best defensive players in the world. We want to thank him for his contributions as he goes to another church. We believe in you. We believe in you, sir. We will never not root for Anthony Davis because he played like an absolute beast in the bubble. He played like an absolute beast the last 2 years, making me look like a prophet as a top 5 MVP candidate because he was on the floor. He was playing most of the games. 25-11. Give it up to him. Give it up to him. Praise the Lord. He's going to make the Dallas Mavericks a good team. I believe in you. I believe in you, AD. But LeBron James, we believe in you as well. We are not trading you. You are going to be the mentor to the next era. The next era of the Los Angeles Lakers. This is like kings, in the Roman Empire, ladies and gentlemen. In the Roman Empire, it goes from empire to empire, king to king to king. It went from this one to that one to Julius Caesars to this one to that. I can't think of them all off the top of my head. This is all improvisation. I don't have no script here. But the Los Angeles Lakers, we went from Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain to Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We went from Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Then we're pooped the bed. We got Shaquille leaves. He goes to Miami, wins a championship, telling Kobe how his booty tastes. And then we get Pau Gasol and we win 2 more championships, all the way to LeBron James deciding to come to the Los Angeles Lakers, bringing on his co-star with Rich Paul at Clutch Sports, and bringing on AD to win that championship in 2020. And now it was all dissolution. It was all black cows. But now we got the sunshine from Slovenia. It's the sunshine from Slovenia. Sunshine from Slovenia. It's the sunshine from Slovenia. But I got to take a pause. I got to take a breath. Jeremy Lambert, welcome to the Tuesday era of In the Weeds. We have a special guest joining us.
9 minutes. 9 minutes. And that's how SP3 makes his official. You've been the substitute. You've given yourself that nickname. I'm not giving you that nickname. You've been the substitute on this show many a times. Yes, we used to do FMC literally as of last week. No longer FMC, but we're probably not talking wrestling, at least for the first portion of this show. If you've tuned into In the Weeds before and you're used to seeing myself and Joel Pearl, you'll know that the first half hour isn't a whole lot of wrestling talk anyway. If you've not tuned into this show before and you are here for FMC, this is very normal for you to see SP3 in his pastor mode and myself reacting in real time. Welcome, everyone, to the first I shouldn't say it's the first ever Tuesday edition. We've done Tuesday episodes before, but the first Tuesday edition of the 5-week In the Weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. 5 days a week. There we go. I'll get it right.
Only 5 weeks. We're only going 5-week season.
We're like the SmackDown 2-3 era Just 5 weeks of three hours, and then maybe we'll pull it back to 2. 5 days a week in the weeds. Myself, SP3. Let's get the formalities out of the way real quickly as we're 10 minutes into this show now with SP3 gracing us with a sermon like only SP3 can do. Leave a thumbs up on the video, everybody. That helps us out. That supports the channel. Leave us a thumbs up. Can we get the fireworks? There we go. There's the fireworks for Tuesday in the weeds. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Get your super chats in. Get your question, comment, statement read on the air. Like Louis here. First collection for the past there. SP3. That's right. We'll pass the collection plate around. Leave your collection. Leave your money in the collection plate. You can leave gift cards. We accept those as well. You can just leave nice messages, just nice messages saying thank you. Thank you, Pastor SP3, for gracing us and blessing us on this day. We will take that as well. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification so you can tap the bell for notifications so you can get the notifications. Joel usually does this. It's much more difficult than I thought it is. I'm gonna get better at it. I'm used to just laying back, cracking my jokes, singing songs, yelling at Joel for his dumbass ideas. Now I gotta steer the ship a little bit, but I want to. That's the task that I take on. I don't run from the grind like Joel Pearl. 3-day Joel, 3-show Joel, 2-show Joel. A lot of weeks. He's over here yelling at me, saying I didn't hit the intro played. You saw the intro, right, SP3? The intro played. Sometimes when you come in a little bit late, you'll miss the intro. The wife always misses the intro because YouTube has that little delay. The intro played. Don't yell at me, Joel Pearl. We do have a very special guest from PWTorch, from MavsMoneyBall. Can't imagine how this man feels. We will talk about wrestling, by the way. Everybody, we will get to wrestling. It's in the rundown. It's in the thumbnail. But look, Saturday night after the Royal Rumble, I'm ready to go to bed. I'm ready to sleep. It was a long night. Triple H droned on and on about his Hall of Fame speech. Great, awesome.
I always turn off the press conference when he starts droning.
I got no choice.
I know.
I got no choice.
I know you don't. I know you don't, but yeah, I was watching some of that because I was working for Sports Illustrated on the night. I was the only one active, kind of doing the results for Royal Rumble, and then I took the little bit of news from the press conference, which was just a John Cena promo, him declaring for the elimination. That's the most news that we got out of that. What was it? An hour press conference?
Yeah. It moves on pretty quickly. They do a good job with it, but
they don't do it the way they were originally doing it, where they splice in the panel. Big E is a lot of fun on there, so it makes it a lot more of an enjoyable post show. It makes it feel like a more natural sports kind of event and presentation. So I do enjoy that with WWE. But yeah, I was also tired because I was working with Sports Illustrated. At the same time, I was doing a near 5-hour live stream over on True Hill Heat, doing a watch along of the Royal Rumble, only to turn around and do a review the next day. So I was I was laying down on the couch, and I was just scrolling through the timeline, everybody with the mixed reactions to Jey Uso's shocking victory. I put my initial reaction. I thought it was great, to give you a little bit of wrestling before we introduce our guest. But I thought it was great. But then I see the Shams tweet that changed the world.
I am in bed, ready to sleep, and I was just checking. The Thunder won on Saturday night. And Aaron Wiggins dropped 40 points, saved basketball. So I was checking my Thunder timeline to see, because I missed most of the game covering Royal Rumble. So I refresh it, and all I see is the retweet from one of the Thunder beat writers of the Shams tweet. And I just go, holy shit. My wife is half asleep at this point, and she's like, what happened? I was like, I think Luka Doncic just got traded. And she's like, huh? I was like, I think Luka Doncic just got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis. She's like, okay. Again, half asleep, bless her. I text my buddy Sammer, who it's 5 a.m. for him. He's in a different country. I text him, wake up, get up. Luka just got traded. I call him. He tells me I can call him when there's big breaking news like this. I call him. And I'm like, oh, he's not going to pick up. So I'll just keep scrolling the timeline and whatever. I probably won't sleep. He calls me back. We spent 2 hours just talking about this. I didn't go to bed till like 3 a.m.
I did not go to bed until 3 a.m. either. I literally had like an hour of me debating if I wanted to go live and just talk about it, because I was just like, oh, I have to discuss this. So we gave our reactions to the tweet. We got to bring in our special guest to get his reaction, because you were more of the reaction of just a genuine overall NBA fan and Oklahoma City Thunder fan. I was more the I literally, when I see that tweet, I'm like, wait, what? And then I saw Rob Wilkins tag me in your tweet, reacted to it, and I'm like, wait, I'm like checking everything. This is real. This is real. This is real. Holy shit! I'm jump out my couch seat. I'm jumping up and down. I wake up my missus and my son. My missus is like, why are you screaming? I was like, we just hit the NBA lottery. I was like, oh my God, we got Luka Doncic. She has no idea who that is. So she's just like, shut up. Like it goes right to bed.
So I imagine most neutral NBA fans were stunned, surprised, baffled at this whole deal. I imagine most Lakers fans were ecstatic at this deal. And I imagine most Dallas Mavericks fans were very depressed at this deal. But for a Dallas Mavericks fan reaction, Brian Zilem from MavsMoneyBall, from PWTorch. Brian, how you doing today?
I'm here, guys. I'm here. I'm just kind of still in a malaise.
Fair.
I'm still trying to wake up and process and just go back to sleep and say, this didn't happen. This is not real. Shams got hacked. It's all rouge. None of this is real. And it's whatever, 72 hours later, and I'm starting to kind of like go through the emotional roller coaster. I sent SB3 like a DM, Jeremy, and I think the emotions of the Mavericks fans have just gone from like sadness, betrayal, blind rage, like coping, like going for conspiracy theories now. It's just, it was such a surreal feeling. I hope neither of you ever have to go through this, because literally, so how I found out, so I wasn't actually like, I'm not like a 9-to-5 Joe like you guys. I didn't have to work the Rumble. So it was about 9:15. The men's Rumble started. I said, you know what? I'm kind of tired. I'm going to go to sleep now, wake up early, finish the men's Rumble, watch Collision, do my write-up, go work out, normal Sunday. I go to sleep, and then all of a sudden, I get a call from good friend of the show, Camden Hawkins, with the Ringer, and I see Cam's calling. I was like, okay, what does he need? Is he drunk calling? Like, what does he want? And he was just like, why are you not on the internet right now? I was like, why? What happened? Like, did something happen? I was thinking something happened at the press conference, like with Triple H. Like, what happened? He said no, Luka got traded. I was like, Cam, why are you even bothering me with this BS right now? I'm almost a 38-year-old man. I'm trying to actually sleep. He was like, no, dead ass. He was like, I swear on my mom's life. And I was like, I pull up the Shams. I probably 10 minutes just clicking on the Shams like profile to ensure it's real. And my wife's like, whoa, what happened? What happened? Who died? And I was like, Luka got traded. And she's like, you woke me up for this. And the amount of phone calls, texts I received in just like a span of a 24-hour time frame, I kind of felt like a Sean Ross Sapp in a way, because this must like on a small level, this is what he must feel like, getting a scoop. Because I heard from people I haven't heard from in years trying to process this.
Yeah, that's like my experience. The only time I experienced that as like a Laker fan is when Kobe passed away. is when
Yeah.
I get people like I haven't seen since I was in like elementary school hitting me up because they know how much I was a Kobe fan. But I can only imagine that with like I've never had that with like I said, I went through the survey of all the eras of the Lakers. Lakers is like I don't know. I don't know what type of voodoo mind trick or magic they have, but this is 17 years. This was like a day away from 17 years from the Pau Gasol trade. And this is like the Pau Gasol trade on steroids, like superhuman steroids.
So real quickly, a week ago, the Colorado Avalanche traded Mikko Rantanen, and Mikko Rantanen, for those who don't know, top 15 NHL player, only 28, top 3 player on the team, top 10 winger on the team. And he was slated to potentially be a free agent coming off of this season. Traded him to Carolina for Martin Necas, Jack Drury, like a fine return, but you're talking about a top 10, top 15 player. I was stunned. This happened during SmackDown. I'm covering SmackDown. I was very stunned. I was like, wow, like in NHL terms, this was a huge trade. It still was not as big. Like the Luka trade still hit me harder than this because with Mikko, we won a championship with him. So I was like, you know what? He was there for a title in 2022. We did what we needed to do. It sucks. I thought he was going to be part of the team forever. It's unfortunate we had to trade him, but at least we got a championship out of it.
Right.
This Luka trade, I've seen a lot of Maverick fans reaction to this, and it feels like the overwhelming consensus is you gave up on this guy who we thought was our guy, like Dirk Nowitzki, who we were ready to ride with for at least the next decade and hopefully win multiple championships with him. And before we even got one championship, even though we've been to the conference finals, we've been to the finals.
Just made it to the finals.
Yeah, literally 6 months ago, we're in the finals. Yeah, 8 months ago. Like, we're in the finals, and you gave up on him for, like, at least in the Avs case, they got a player 2 years younger and under cost control and everything. You gave up on him for a guy who is 6 years older and it has some injury issues and maybe has a 2-year window where, okay, we got to win in the next 2 years, or what are we doing after that?
Yeah, Jeremy, and I want to actually approach this first from like just the fan perspective. I don't think I've ever seen a fan base more broken. Like I'm dead ass serious. Like this fan base is broken, and I don't know if are either one of you like big One Piece guys.
No.
Okay, well, in One Piece, basically, there's a character. Her name is Robin. Basically, like the Navy blows up her entire island. It's called the Booster Call, where they just basically nuke your entire island. That's pretty much what Nico Harrison did. You basically ruined a generation of fans, and I'm so devastated. And that was kind of like my first, like I'm wired differently, so I'm kind of like looking at it like differently than anybody else. I was first so worried about like having conversations with these little kids. Like, could you imagine having a 5 or 7 year old right now and saying, buddy, I know we just got you this Luka jersey, but he's not here anymore. Why, daddy? Why is he not here? Well, our general manager, he's a freaking idiot and he's got too much power and he just decided Luka's not his guy anymore. Like the videos that are going around, I'm not even gonna watch them because I'm probably gonna tear up a little bit. And once Cam called me and I had like 2 or 3 conversations, I jumped on a couple streams, obviously, because like I couldn't sleep. I feel like my sleep schedule is finally just trying to normalize a little bit, just in terms of trying to process everything. But as far as just fan service in its own right, SP3, I don't know if like the Lakers have any problems like from a television standpoint, but basically the season started and the Mavericks were basically forcing their fans to spend $130 for the entire season to watch their games. Now, I don't do that. I pay $100 for League Pass because, I mean, no disrespect to Mark Fallowell, who's like the best, one of the best in the industry. I actually like listening to other teams' calls. I find that fascinating. I like to hear the different voices, and like obviously, like if I can hear the Charlotte guys, who's excellent. Like I'm talking about the guy who's like always going over the top of Lamar Ball. Or he's just very very talented. So, but you basically held your fans hostage. Say if you want to watch these games, you have to pay $130, or you have to buy some type of goofy antenna. Because like, everybody, there's been years now where they haven't been able to watch. People in Dallas have not been able to watch the Mavericks. It's so dumb.
So
like,
they don't have it like on like a regular, because I know in New York we have like MSG for the Knicks. I've been in Los Angeles where it's like it's local. It's like I forget, it's like CBS Sports or one of those sports channels out there that has the Laker coverage. I know for like probably for you, Jeremy, over in Ohio, they have like Cleveland Cavaliers stuff on like local stuff.
Yeah,
on
it's
local
like
channels.
FanDuel Network. It used to be Bally's. Now I'm pretty sure it's FanDuel Network. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Right.
I watch most of my stuff through other matters.
Well,
for sure. And
yeah.
and the problem is SB3. So like with streamers now, everybody's a YouTube guy, YouTube TV, and YouTube TV is like, no, we're not gonna pay that extra. No, we're good. Like, you know what I mean? It's just part of the biz right now, because it's the same thing with baseball. Baseball's struggling to kind of find their own way. I know the Texas Rangers basically just had to launch their own kind of new app. The Dallas Stars basically just launched their own app because Bally's Diamond, whatever the hell it is, it's like, it's broken. System's broken. I don't understand how teams make money anymore. It's really convoluted. If you're living somewhere locally, why can't you watch your teams? Because I remember even Will Washington kind of telling stories about like being in Denver, like I think it was like Comcast or one of those broadcasters. It was like very convoluted. You couldn't even watch your team. So it's just super, super dumb. But just from a fan aspect, I don't know if you guys saw like the protesting Sunday. People were somebody brought a coffin.
Yes.
All the graffiti. And that's why I thought it was almost like a memorial to Luka, because like people were crying. Like it was like a Kobe situation at SB3. And that was like, that broke my heart. And just from another aspect I was thinking of, like, Jeremy, like, could you think, like, what if WWE just all of a sudden went out of business tomorrow? Like, I would feel awful, like, for you guys, like everybody at Fightful, like everybody that something like that would defend your bottom line. Think about all these websites now that write for the Mavericks. Nobody's going to want to like read stuff now. And you have an entire country that you had depending on watching Luka. So Luka's home country was not Maverick fans. They were Luka fans. They're going to be Laker fans now, or like Luka fans who are going to watch that. So think about that, SB3. None of the Lakers going to have that. They're going to have a whole new fan base just to watch Luka, which is
Luka's going to become a bigger star now that he's with the Los Angeles Lakers. Like I think he was number 6 in jersey sales. Now he's going to be number 1. That Luka Lakers 77 jersey, that's going to fly off the shelves.
It's going to be ridiculous. And I think there's been a lot of conspiracy theories, and they're like, this thing is so ridiculous and absurd that it actually happened. I don't like, logical people say, Brian, we shouldn't entertain like the Mavericks moving to Vegas, but like I'm willing to kind of entertain everything at this point, because the Adelsons and the Dumonts, for those who don't know, are probably like, in terms of wealthiest people, like I think the Mavericks are like, as far as like a franchise, if you look at like the overall like net growth, I think the Mavericks rank they're like top 5 as far as like owners having money. So money is not an issue. So the fact that Nico was like, oh, well, we're trying to get out in front of Luka potentially having a tumultuous summer, even though in his press conference he said, well, we never got an indication Luka wouldn't sign a supermax. By the way, he was about to close on a house that was worth $50 million in the Dallas area. So that
he cried when he found out about the trade.
And that's the thing that really sucks, guys, because within like, with the conspiracy theories, like it's weird because when Cuban sold the team, there was like this kind of weird promise, like, oh, we're going to build a new stadium, we're going to get casinos. But I was always very skeptical of that. I was like, brother, do you realize you're trying to get this done in the state of Texas? And they, for all intents and purposes, the Dumonts and Adelsons, I basically paid every Texas legislator they could, and it still hasn't passed. And I think it's like another 2 years before they can even broach the subject now. So, is there a possibility that they could just be tanking the team so they could just move to Vegas? Vegas already has a stadium. They could easily play in T-Mobile Arena and share that with the Vegas Knights in theory. This is kind of a primer for LeBron, like to move in as the GM for the Vegas team. So there's that connection as well. And I don't necessarily believe that, but it's just the fact that everybody universally, you read the reports, it's like, okay, there has to be more than this. There has to be more than this. And universally, Windhorse, your Kevin O'Connors, your Lowe's, whoever you can think of have been like, Nico Harrison did this on his own accord by himself. And there is so many people that are pissed off in the front office now. It's like unbelievable because he didn't let anybody in the front office know. So like the Michael Finleys or whoever else they hired, they have a team of people. Like there's several people in that front office. He did this on his own accord. And I don't think I've ever seen a bigger heel turn in sports ever. And somebody was trying to, there were several people I saw, I'm sure you guys tried to relate on the timeline. Like, how would you compare Luka to a wrestler right now? And I said, it's hard. I would say like Will Ospreay, just because he's like,
I literally, when person said explain the trade in wrestling terms, I broke it very thoroughly down because of the players involved. I said, this is like trading Will Ospreay, Lee Johnson, and EJ Nduka for Finn Balor, an NIL recruit, and Deion Lennox.
Yeah, that's excellent. And if I can also relate kind of like the nuking and aftermath of everything. So do you guys remember how bad 2019 like WWE was as far as attendance, like where they were basically selling 2,000 or 3,000 in 18 capacity arenas, 18,000. I've already heard from so many people, like season ticket holders, subscribers that have already freaking canceled their Mavs TV thing. They have already gone out of their way. They understand they're going to have to eat the profit costs this year, but they're like, I'm not watching anything. And that's the thing that is really disappointing, guys. I think right now, because the conversation was, well, what if Anthony Davis wins the title this year? Nobody's going to care. Like there's
even if they win the championship, that doesn't make up for it. You don't think it's going to make up for it?
Istok Franco, who's a very talented writer and analyst, he posted that question today. I said, brother, that's like putting lipstick on a pig at this point. Like, this is like like, there's not a different timeline or universe. Like, you can't go back to. This is irreversible stuff. And I just feel devastated for the franchise and fans because I don't like, honestly, I kind of feel like I'm broken and I don't know if I'm going to be able to fan. I'm still going to be able to watch basketball. Don't get me wrong. I think from a perspective now, as far as the Western Conference, I think this is so interesting to see like these young teams like, all right, who wants it? Like, OKC, do you want it? If Houston, do you want it? Memphis, do you want it? I mean, I'm motivated. Luka, do you want it? I mean, who knows? But I'm just trying to fathom like why, from a business perspective, like Luka, like let's say in theory, right? The Mavericks didn't want to pay Luka the Supermax. You pay him $350 million, but he's making you $500 million. So that's a net. I just don't understand what we're doing.
I think when it comes to the title question is it can't be decided this year. Let's say theoretically the Mavericks do win a championship. I think Mavs fans will be happy. It's a championship. Like that banner is going to be hung forever. But 5 years, I mean, look, you're a Mavs fan. You might
Yeah.
be you have a better pulse on it than I certainly do. But it's a championship. I don't know. I'm celebrating a championship one way or another. But I think the thing is, let's say they do win it this year. There will be some joy, but there will still be some sadness of, oh, we could have won it with Luka. But if you look 7 years down the line and Luka all of a sudden has 3 with the Lakers, then it's like, yeah, that one title actually kind of sucked because look what this guy has done over here. I don't think you can judge it just based on this season. And obviously, if the Mavs like don't make the finals, it's going to be, well, we made the finals last year with Luka. We made the team around him better. At least that was the selling point going into
everybody was saying they had the best team that they put together around.
Oh, look, I'm a Thunder fan. Since everybody's representing basketball here, I'm a Thunder fan. PJ Washington, prime LeBron James out here, PJ Washington. I wanted no parts to do with the Mavericks in a potential play-in game.
Right.
Not because I don't think we don't match up terribly against them. It's for some reason, it's a mental thing, whatever it might be. Again, PJ Washington turns into prime LeBron. We have to rearrange our entire defense because we're trying to stop Luka. Like, Luka doesn't have the best numbers against OKC, but he shifts our defense to play one certain way. And then, like, defensively, they're very physical. They're very tough. It was just a matchup nightmare. Okay, adding Anthony Davis, fine. Theoretically, it's like, oh, now they're more physical. Now their defense is better. I'm like, yeah, but our defense ain't got to shift around the way it did with Luka. And like, okay, you beat us because you had Lively and Gafford, and we have Hartenstein this year. We only had Chet. You can't play those 3 at the same time. It's like, all right, you're playing Lively and Davis. Fine. You want to run Anthony Davis post-ups against Isaiah Hartenstein? Go for it. Be my guest. I'm not too worried about that as a Thunder fan. I don't think like their advantage got actually better. Somebody put it very well. He's a Thunder fan. It's like the reason why Thunder fans were worried about the Lakers and the Mavericks is because they had very physical defenders who they can throw a lot of variety at all the ways OKC plays. And offensively, they had a super genius running the show. Well, now they kind of just have one of those things, both of these teams, instead of 2 of them, because the Lakers lost some defensive intensity without Davis, and the Mavericks lost their offensive super genius. So now I'm like, I don't know if any team got better. Like, neither team scares me quite as much as a Thunder fan.
Well, in Jeremy, you hit the nail on the head there, because there were still so many people like locally and kind of like nationally that were very confident. Like, even though if the Mavericks just kind of stayed above water, they were open to the idea. It's like, you know what, if the Mavericks end up just making the play-in and have to face the Thunder the first round, I think a lot of people would have still picked the Mavericks. And they want, it's crazy because the Mavericks have beaten. Now there's asterisks with those Thunder games, but the Mavericks have beaten the Thunder 3 times this year without Luka. But there are extenuating circumstances to those games as well, like for sure, because no Chet, and I think Hartenstein has only played in 1 of the 4 games as well.
Yeah, Hartenstein. So. Yeah, I think he played in 2. I think he played in the win, and then he played in the most recent loss.
No, he actually didn't. No, because it was Carlson. Like, it was Carlson, and they got Other Williams back, not J Dub, Other Williams.
Oh, Jay Will.
Yeah, Jay
Will.
I
I could have sworn he played in the most recent loss, because I was like, certain players aren't playing in that game. But yeah, maybe Hartenstein didn't play.
Also, Jeremy, that was the game Dort got tossed.
Yeah, Dort did get tossed. I do remember that.
So it was just really weird. But like, so if you're a GM and if you were just so tired of Luka, and then to provide more context for the viewers out there, essentially right now, more or less, Nico Harrison traded Luka because he's too fat. That's pretty much what he said. Too fat.
He's too fat. He's fat.
Mind you, he's been playing professional basketball since 16, and he's from Real Madrid, so he's gonna party. Nothing wrong with that. So you have for the last 2 years have wanted to build a whole team, whole system, whole culture around Luka, and now you've just decided, nah, that's not for me. What? Like, and the thing, like you said, Jeremy, Davis is a fine player when he's healthy. Like, I'm already getting familiar with his names of street clothes and day to day and all that fun stuff. But from a constructional standpoint, you cannot play Gafford, Davis, and Lively if he's available by May, like together. You can't. And, Nico was in his press conference yesterday. I don't know if you guys watched that
Oh,
dribble.
I did.
Oh my God. I loved it.
The most gaslighting dribble, and just the fact that he kind of opened with that dad joke. And I think that's when a lot of people turn the rage at that point. It's like, brother, read the room. And it was so funny because, Jason, even Kidd, and that's weird. I don't like Jason Kidd as a coach, but I felt for him so bad. Could you imagine going in that locker room on Sunday and saying, well, this sucks, guys. Next man up. Like your entire.
I mean, I know that Kyrie didn't play, PJ Washington didn't play, Gafford didn't play. They looked like a team that just got shell shocked by a trade on Sunday against the Cavs.
It looked like everybody, like somebody ran over their dogs, each and one, like every dog that they had, or they just got a brand new puppy and Nico Harrison just ran it over. But the more broader thing with Davis, guys, he is not a plug-in player with this system right now, because now without your super genius, your supercomputer that makes everything work, you're relying on Kyrie Irving, who, mind you, he's been playing hurt. He has a bad back right now. He's also 32 years old.
But he's been playing like an all-star.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely. But he's better as the number 2 guy, in my opinion, if you can kind of go back to the finals. I feel like when he is not given so much burden to be like in this situation, not only is he going to have to be the top guy, he's going to have to be the facilitator for everything. Because you know who your backup point guard is that SB3 you had the pleasure of watching last year? Spencer Dinwiddie. Let me tell you, I hope everybody's ready for that Spencer Dinwiddie, Anthony Davis experience, because that's going to be really, really fun.
I just want to give y'all some good fortune. Y'all going to have one of the best defenses in the NBA. With Anthony Davis, with Max Christie, with the defense that you already had. You had a top 10 defense last year with Luka Doncic. I think that your defense is going to get better with
Anthony. That's what's infuriating, SP3, and that's the garbage Nico Harrison was trying to sell in the presser. You already had a top 10 defense, so you're
going to be top 2.
Yes, so you're sacrificing more offense for wait, that actually doesn't work against OKC. That doesn't actually work against Houston. Hell, I don't even know if that's actually beneficial against Memphis, because now your defense currently, I mean, Kyrie tries, but Klay Thompson right now, and God bless him, I feel awful for him because he came to Dallas because he wanted to play for Luka.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet the betrayal aspect of these players, I'd feel furious. I'd be furious right now.
If I'm a free agent or anything and, the Mavs are making me a good offer, I'm like, why would I come here? I could sign you. You traded Luka Doncic. I'm not safe. That was the most baffling thing to me during the press conference. He's like, yeah, I presented this to the owner, and he laughed. He's like, shouldn't that have been a sign that maybe you shouldn't make this trade?
I mean, guys, and that's the thing that's wild, because, and SB3, I know you've probably already said this, and a lot of people have said, oh, we'll still have Irving next year. Kyrie Irving can opt out of his contract this summer.
Yeah.
And I've already been kind of worried he was going to reunite with LeBron anyway. But I think at 100% chance he's going back to LA because, and why not?
I have it on good authority that Kyrie is not as keen as reports say to reuniting with LeBron.
Well, I was like, I wonder if he feels better after being betrayed.
And he has in-roots in Dallas because he got a house out there. He got a house out there in Dallas himself. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. It really depends on what happens the rest of the season in regards to what Kyrie's gonna do, because if he opts in, how much does he make?
I believe it's like 40.
40 million. He could probably make more if he opts out.
Yep.
Probably, I don't know.
I
But
mean, if I was Dallas, I would get him extended now. Don't even play that roll of dice, because if it goes past the season, I think he's gone. It just makes it wouldn't be funny. I would just have to laugh at it at this point. And it's like, okay, Kyrie, because LeBron is, or Kyrie was trying to recruit LeBron to go to Dallas. So that was a scuttlebutt last year, right? And now just the fact that all three of them would end up in LA of all places, that's a triple, quadruple nut kick. And I think a lot of people are kind of optimistic with the Davis, addition, assuming he plays at some point.
you're gonna love Anthony Davis.
But SB3, how are they going to facilitate and score the basketball? How is it going to move? Because without,
why are people acting like Anthony Davis is not averaging 26 points and 12 rebounds a game?
But no, and that's the thing, SB3. I want you to think about it. How is he going to get the ball? Because your supercomputer that with Luka gets everybody the ball and makes everybody look like a 5 pegs above they're playing weight, right? So
that pick and roll, Kyrie and AD gonna be deadly.
And by the way, Nico did kind of already say he was gonna try to maybe play Davis at the 5. So
come on, that's the whole reason I'm happy for him. Go play the 4. That's what he wanted so bad. He asked the Lakers to get a center so he could play more of the 4, and now he's on a team where he can play the 4. We thank Anthony Davis for everything that he contributed. He was a great model citizen. Like I said before, top 5 MVP in the bubble, top 5 MVP last year, in my opinion, top 5 MVP for a lot of this season as well. That's his other nickname. It's not all these bad nicknames you've been hearing, Brian. It ain't all day-to-day and street clothes and all of that. It's also top 5 MVP candidate, Anthony Davis, and I think that's
one person has given him that nickname.
It's billions of people. Billions of people. I've seen shirts. The Brow, top 5 MVP candidate. Those are the good nicknames.
I hope they got their money back.
And you're going to see that the rest of the season. I don't think the Lakers are done, though, for this trade deadline, because we got to get a center. We got to get a center.
Can we talk about the homeboy aspect of this entire trade? Because Kurt Goldsberry yesterday said somehow Rob Pelinka talked Nico Harrison.
That's what I was talking about in my he's won Booker of the Year, Tony Khan, Triple H. It's over. That whole story from the Ringer of him convincing Nico Harrison that Luka has a weight problem, a drinking problem. There was the clip of him after y'all made the finals last year.
Michael Finley yanked the beer,
and Michael Finley yanking the beer for him. All of this has come out, and now they're saying, "Oh, he's fat. Oh, he's not about the culture. He's not about the culture we're trying to build here." And to kind of have a counterpoint to what Jeremy said earlier, this trade was not about the Lakers improving for this season. For this season, it was like a 40% shot that we can even beat y'all. Yes, we would have put some work in against the Thunder, but we were gonna be out in 6-7 games in the second round with LeBron and AD, because Rob Pelinka couldn't figure out a way to you would have to give up on the future to basically improve on the team for LeBron and AD this season and next to basically capitalize on LeBron's window. It's not about this season. It's not about next season. Like Brian said, it's about the next decade. It's basically the fortunes and the future of both teams got flipped, where Dallas Mavericks were going to be good for the next decade with Luka Doncic, and they were going to be they could probably improve once Luka was back and move up the rankings in the before the playoffs. And then you had the Lakers, who just had a window of this year and next year to probably lose in the second round. Now we got a full decade. Now we can work the team and make the team around Luka. LeBron does no longer has control after nearly six years, 7 seasons. LeBron does not have control of the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers, Rob Pelinka, was the first person in NBA history to tell LeBron James, it's not about you anymore. That's crazy.
It's insane. And Jeremy, when you were watching the press conference, when Nico said, oh, well, this isn't a 10-year window, it's a 3-4 year window. You want to get really dark. So the owe draft capital just kind of the next few years for the Mavericks. So they owe Charlotte a top 3 to 30 pick in 27. OKC has the right to swap with Dallas in 28. Houston has the right to swap with Dallas in 29. And those sneaky San Antonio Spurs have the right to swap with Dallas in 2030.
How they did not get but 1 first-round pick in this. I know that the talk was, Dalton Connect was also in there and another first round, and that was the, you got talked down because weight problems, drinking problems, all this stuff. I don't care. You've got to come away with more than 1 first-round pick when you traded a franchise player who is not even 26 years old. You got to come away with multiple first-round picks on that, because you didn't open it up for a bidding war, which was the first
malpractice.
You locked in on Anthony Davis. Fine. If you wanted Anthony Davis, if that was your guy, okay. I think it's dumb. I think you could have gotten the biggest haul in NBA history if you opened it up to the entire landscape of the NBA, but you locked in on Anthony Davis. Fine. You still got to come away with some future players out of this, because getting a 32-year-old Anthony Davis gives you 2 to 3 years. And then after that, what are you doing? You don't have any great future players. I like Derek Lively. Derek Lively was a big beneficiary of what Luka Doncic brought to the table as well. I don't know if you're building your entire team around Derek Lively. Could you build your entire team around Lively and how his growth and Luka? Yeah, easily. And they could have been a deadly duo for years to come. But you don't have that anymore. So you got to get some players for the future. And they got 1 first-round pick. Baffling. And I'm with you. Franchise malpractice of how you did not come away with more if you weren't going to open it up. I don't know if OKC would have tossed the entire boat at them. I don't think so. I think OKC is pretty happy with where they're at right now. But I'm calling them and saying, hey, what do you got? I'm calling San Antonio. I'm calling Brooklyn. Like, make me your offer here. Yeah, Houston. Make me your offer with all your young players and all your picks. If you want to rebuke it, fine. I understand. You're going to stay your course. But, I got a top 5 player who's not even 26 right now. Make me an offer.
Exactly, Jeremy. That's crazy. And, the thing about it is, I don't know if you guys can think of anybody. I'm just going to relate it kind of from a Dallas aspect. Dirk Nowitzki didn't start taking care of his body until he was late 20s, early 30s. So Luka's 25.
The most hilarious part of all this is they wanted him to get in shape. They wanted him to do a better job. And they're going to end up doing it because the most motivating factor for Luka is pettiness. And now that he's been traded, he's going to be like, yeah, I'm about to drop 80 on y'all dudes.
They literally are betting against his potential, which is insanity to me. It's insanity.
While he's looking for a new home in LA, I'm sure he's going to live in LeBron's guest house or wing somewhere. He's going to LeBron's going to let Luka live in his hyperbolic time chamber. He's going to come next summer with a Jade Cargill 9-pack probably.
No, he's good. He's going to go from Walter to Gunther.
Yes. and it's going to just be frightening. And I would say SB3 just as far as just the Lakers fan base in general. I don't like the Lakers fans have actually been so kind. They're just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Cause they know how shambolic this entire thing is. It's not fair to the fan base. Cause let's say hypothetically, the Lakers gave up 3 picks, Anthony Davis, and then so the Mavericks gave up draft capital in this trade. in this trade. They gave up draft capital.
Yes.
And the thing about is also crazy is no pick swaps. You can do a bazillion pick swaps. You didn't even do that. You were so good.
They kept the 2029 pick. I believe they still have their first round pick for this upcoming season, the Lakers. It's insane. And I know what everybody's been saying. Oh, there's got to be more to this story. There's got to be more to this story. There's got to be something going on with Luka and the Mavs organization. Ladies and gentlemen, for anyone who's a wrestling fan and just watching and learning a lot about basketball from the last hour, the Memphis Grizzlies still have Ja Morant after he was seen on an Instagram Live with a gun, and basically was in a club with strippers with a gun as well. Right after he was caught on Instagram Live with a gun, and he was suspended for half the year and came back, and now the Memphis Grizzlies are a top 4 team in the Western Conference. So Luka Doncic had to. It has to be something more than that. It's not possible. I just think that Rob Pelinka pulled off the Jedi mind trick. These are not the drums you want.
I mean,
this
yes,
is the drum
Rob Pelinka pulled off a Jedi
Booker
mind
of the year.
Booker of the year. Nico Harrison might be the dumbest man in all of basketball.
And
he's got dumb babyface syndrome.
Yes, and I don't, and I think the fan base united have said, "Oh my God, this guy has to get fired," but that doesn't even fix anything. Like, what does that do? Like, his just blasé attitude, like during the press conference, SB3, Jeremy saw it. He was just like, "Oh, I'm so indestructible. I don't give a fuck." Like what a disservice to your loyal fan base, man. Like, and the thing that I don't know if like how many Mavs fans you guys know or speak to. The thing that for me as a child growing up, like, I think I really started being sports conscious around maybe like 7 or 8. So, we're talking about 3 decades for me, like being a true Mavs fan for life. I know that the acronym looks goofy, sounds goofy, but the reason we chose this team is because the Cowboys stunk. We hated Jerry Jones. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. In a span of 10 days, somehow Jerry Jones has a higher QR rating as a general manager in the city of Dallas. I want you to really think about that. Like the stupidity of that alone makes absolutely no sense, because the slop that he was feeding the fans on his press conference the other day was just like, oh my God, I'm almost about to just jump off this team. So he's not even the worst owner in the Dallas-Fort Worth area anymore, but the loyalty this fan base has given, I don't think they really understand. It's just like we're just trading away a player. The fans will just eat the slop. It's fine. No, it's not. And because now these kids that are 15 to 25, they're going to find something else to do. They're going to watch Luka on the Lakers. They're going to Twitch. They're going to stream. They're going to watch people playing Fortnite. They have other things to do. And then the fans kind of like within our age group, I think we're all 30 here, right? We're all 30. We're all still in our 30s. Thank God. We have other things that we could do differently too. I mean, Jeremy, you like to watch hockey. I mean, I'm trying to get more in Dallas Stars because they're really the kind of like the best thing going other than the Texas Rangers right now. And it's so disheartening for these guys that might just kind of quit on the team. And I think universally for change to happen, that's what you kind of have to do. And if I could spin it back to wrestling, that's what you kind of have to do. You have to like let them know this absolutely sucks. And it has nothing to do with Anthony Davis. I feel so awful for all those players and all the people in the like the social media thing. I take this what you will, but I think like on Instagram, I think they've almost lost 1 million followers since the trade.
I saw that their numbers,
it's insane.
So many followers. I was talking about this with my friend. Is like we're older and we're of a kind of a generation of like we kind of support the team more than the player. We obviously latch on to players, but look, Kevin Durant left OKC. I became a Thunder fan because of Kevin Durant. When he left, granted, he wasn't traded from like a 2K trade. He left of his own volition. Fuck Kevin Durant. But I stayed as a Thunder fan. I didn't go, oh, I'm now a Warriors fan because of Kevin Durant. It feels like the newer generation, the younger generation, they latch on to more players
Mhm.
than teams because the players just have more visibility than a lot of the teams. Like, oh, I really like the way LaMelo Ball plays. The Hornets suck, but I really like the way LaMelo Ball plays. If LaMelo Ball goes elsewhere, well, I'm just going to be a LaMelo Ball fan.
Yep.
It feels the kind of way with guys like Steph, and I know Steph's been on the same team for the entire time, but people seem to latch more onto the players than the teams. So yeah, when Luka gets traded, especially in the way he got traded and the way everything went down, not leaving of his own volition, not like Kevin Durant backside the Thunder. Fuck Kevin Durant. Luka, this was literally, I don't know if you guys played the 2K game. It was like 2K12 or something. You played GM mode and they forced a trade on you. Your assistant GM like goes behind your back and makes a trade. It's one of the dumbest features they've ever put in this game. This is what this felt like. And from a real life fan perspective is I can't imagine Brian, you've explained it. I've seen enough enough Mavs fans say this of like, yeah, we didn't agree to this. You didn't get our take on this. The fact that players are like, was Shams hacked? What's happening? Is this a real thing? Again, this should have been a warning sign of this was a bad deal. But it does feel like the newer fans are going to be like, okay, well, now I'm just going to be a Lakers fan because Luka's on the Lakers. And so I'll just go support the Lakers. The Mavs lost the guy that I liked. I'm not going to support the Mavs at all. I'll now support Luka on the Lakers. So yeah, they're going to lose fans who are not only longtime Mavs fans who have supported the team because again, they felt betrayed. I read it was Kirk Henderson. I think he writes. Yeah, he wrote the open letter. He's very good.
Yes.
It was a very good open letter, but he's like, they felt betrayed off of this. And then the newer fans are going to be like, oh, well, I'm just now going to support my guy over here. Sorry, Mavs fans.
Yeah. And I think I was thinking about this, Jeremy, because like when Sam Presti decided to say, you know what, we got to just pull this up. Was he not very transparent to his like letter to the fans? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's what is so messed up. Like you just did this, the biggest FU. Like you weren't transparent. You did this because out of idiocracy, hubris, like because to me, from what I gather, you know, Nico Harrison has all the power. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Because, I mean, people are trying to be mad at the owners. Like the Mavericks are like a penny in the Addison Dumont's pocket. Like so, they don't care. Like they don't. So I can't really have any fury towards them. They're gonna just do whatever Nico says. And now he has all this power. He had this connection with Rob Pelinka. And he just decided to just do this and not really have any conversations with anybody else. Like, because Dirk still works for the team in some kind of capacity. And you know what's even the saddest thing at this point? You know who's gone silent? Mark Cuban.
Yeah. I read the ESPN piece where Mark Cuban is like, I'm not involved with the team anymore.
You know what? And the thing about it is he hired Nico and Kid. So people are trying to give him grace. I said, nope, do not do that because, and again, SB3, thank you, because the only reason the Mavericks hired Kid is because he was on that roster when they won the championship and LeBron endorsed him. And the way Dallas went, they basically hired quotations, an agency, but then decided just to hire Kid and Nico Harrison just because. So, and what's really infuriating. So I don't know if Nico Harrison will ever get a job in basketball again. He could probably go back to work with Nike tomorrow if he got fired. But like, this is like defining stuff. Like, and I think really the Mavericks could win back-to-back championships. And I just, the vibes are just not going to be the same with the fan base. Like everything is absolutely changed. And I'm sure you guys have had conversation maybe like with your relatives or your parents or whatever. I asked my dad, I was like, hey dad, can you like try to quantitate this for me? And he was like, son, I can't. The closest thing I could come to relating is like the Cleveland Browns leaving in the middle of the night. Like, I mean, just because there's really nothing else like it. I think Bill Simmons was trying to say, oh, well, the Wayne Gretzky trade, but you know, he'd already won some titles and that's like different. I mean, if the Mavs win a title next year, I still think the fans are furious because it's like, what the like, why would you take that window away from you? Because we just basically gave that to you, SB3. Because like, and it's so crazy that the Mavericks fell ass backwards. You leave one generation and have another generational superstar fall in your lap because the Kings, the Suns, and the Hawks they're idiots. But now, like, you're the laughing stocks of that entire thing. Nobody's dunking on the Suns or the Kings anymore. Like, you were the laughing stocks of not only the NBA, but like everywhere because they got dunked on the Grammys. Pat McAfee was making fun of them on Raw last night, and I was like,
McAfee was mentioning it. Jesus. I've heard it in everywhere. It's gone across everywhere. We are a wrestling podcast that spent the last hour talking about it. This thing has been the biggest thing in the world, basically, not just in sports. Like, I think like the reaction and the coverage of it, it's the biggest thing that's happened to the NBA since LeBron decided to go to Miami, took his talents to South Beach. It's like these are the two biggest moments, transactional moments in NBA history of like the last 2-3 decades.
And not only are you vilified yourself among the fans, but the teams across the league now hate your guts because you think the Celtics.
No, let's specify this because we, like I said, we got some people who just watch wrestling, don't watch basketball.
Okay, cool.
Pissing off the players because the owners love this shit. The owners got the power back with this shit because no one's safe. Yo, Joel Embiid, you better get your court because you could be gone tomorrow. Like Anthony Edwards, he was laughing when he said it, but he was so serious. If you seen that Starting 5 series on Netflix, Anthony Edwards, he says a lot of serious stuff that he really believes, but he says it with a smile on his face. And that's what he did in that post-game interview. He was like, yo, Tim, let me know if you gonna trade me because I can't. I'm scared. I'm scared now.
I just feel like the Celtics are a team. They, of course, the Mavericks play them on Thursday. The players are going to be in the coaching staff. They're just going to like, oh, so you decided to improve your rival? We're going to actually hate you more than the Lakers, and we're going to just freaking pummel you to the ground and blow you out by 50.
There's so many baffling things about this, but another one is, why are you trading him to the same conference? If you're going to trade him, at least trade him to the conference where you're not going to have to potentially see him until the finals, or you're not going to see him until 2 times a year and potentially the finals. Instead, you trade him in conference. Like, why would you do that? So many
Simple answer.
Lakers exceptionalism.
It's called karma. Because we should have got Chris Paul in 2011. It all comes to fruition. 14 years later. We finally got it done.
The game on the 25th at Crypto. That's Luka's probably going to score 80 points that night.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be the most watched NBA game of the year. For sure.
I don't know what his over-under is. I do not care. I'm betting over. I'm hammering the over. I'm laddering. I'm doing everything I can to make money off of Luka.
Yeah, and the home game that the Luka returns to Dallas, I believe it's on April 9th, fans are already planning on protesting. They want, like, everybody wants to wear Lakers jerseys to the game. Oh. And that's going to be another weird thing because, again, I feel bad for the players, but like everybody's going to like open. It's going to be a home game for the Lakers because like you guys said, these kids are going to be like, oh, well, Luka's coming back. We got to buy some stuff. And if I was the Mavs shop, I was like, maybe we should consider having some new Luka merch in the stands because like, what else are you going to buy? I mean, no disrespect to Kyrie. I don't think anybody's really walking out with the Gafford jersey at this point, but
that's actually, you know what, I would respect that if they just start selling Lakers jerseys at the Maverick shop. It's like, we're gonna get a cut out of this one way or another.
I mean,
the Lakers ain't gonna get this money.
You might as well, man. And it's just, and it is. I've been trying to like really just think about like, surely there's more to this, but I'm just coming to terms that Nico Harrison, he's just really the villain. He's the true heel in this entire promotion. And
Babyface to me. He's a
babyface to you, but I was trying to quantitate this. So what, like, could you think of a guy that had so much good grace amongst like wrestling fans, did something, whether it was like bad booking or like just a decision out of nowhere to turn like a babyface, or it was like, ooh, I don't know if that was a good idea to turn this guy, but like could you think relate this to a wrestling term, like Nico Harrison just turning on a dime like this?
I mean, the Austin turn is one of the most.
I had that one.
Ones.
Yeah. I was
it's
trying to
turn, and it's like, oh, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Just yeah, and for all intents and purposes, people were like, oh, Nico's about 1,000. I was like, no, because that Grant Williams thing, he had to punt on that real quick and give up draft capital, and he was trying to give up 2 first-round picks for Kyle Kuzma, who, shout out to Kyle Kuzma for not wanting to come to Dallas, because that would have been even more draft capital that Dallas would have had to actually keep up or give. So it's super. Again, I'm still gonna be able to like basketball because that's just my jam. I like watching OKC. I'm the freakazoid on a Sunday who will watch like Charlotte and the Clippers at noon if there's nothing on, because why not? Because Kawhi is actually playing good. Have y'all been to the new Clippers arena by chance?
No.
Okay, I really want to check that out. That seems like a good time.
That's the place that they did the Raw Netflix premiere, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Brian, thank you for joining us today. We this is allegedly a wrestling podcast.
Allegedly.
It's really a basketball podcast masquerading as a wrestling podcast. Thank you for joining us. SP3 and I had to talk about this trade. He messaged me. He's like, Brian's going to join us. Mavs fans like, oh, this will be great. I'm sure he has a lot of thoughts and feelings about this as well. So we appreciate it. Let everybody know.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, anytime. Like once the playoffs come around, tag me in. I'll be your treat. Let's be this.
Not if the Mavs play the Thunder again. Too painful. I can't allow.
Oh, Jeremy, are you kidding me? Like, especially if Chet and
if we win, sure, you're more than welcome to come on. If we lose, then I don't know.
Y'all will win. It'll be, if anything, it'll be a gentleman's sweep at this point.
I'm so deathly afraid of PJ Washington. This man only plays well against the Thunder, but look
into his eyes, Jeremy. What do you see? Like, I saw a man that was so sad on Sunday in street clothes. Yeah. I mean, we didn't see Anthony Davis in street clothes because I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure out another nickname for.
He was getting stem cells treatment or something. He's trying to prepare for life in Dallas.
Hey man, I again, SB3, I just hope you understand the guy that you're getting. Luka was getting freaking injections in his chest during the finals. His knee was bleeding. He was bleeding for the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm just a little salty that all these the social media, the Lakers like to do a bit of like photoshopping everybody in the Lakers jersey. It just unfortunate. Luka, yellow's not really in Luka's color palette, so hopefully maybe he gets the tan and maybe that'll fix it.
I mean he's gonna be perfect with it because we got 4 of the coolest white boys in NBA on our team.
I think that even hurts me even more.
Dalton Connect, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and JJ Redick.
There you go. All right, guys. I thank you so much, but hopefully we can do this again real soon.
Thanks, Brian. Of course.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. Brian Zilem. No wrestling talk for the first hour and 15 minutes of the show. Appreciate him coming on. Look, man, when Luka Doncic gets traded, sorry, wrestling's just going to be on pause. Wrestling's just going to be on pause.
It has to play secondary to that news. Because, like, I did a live stream on Sunday on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, and I literally had people in our comments being like, this is a damn conspiracy. How dare they do that trade after FMC ended?
Oh yeah, you messaged me and like they're really testing us when we end FMC and they're doing this show. I was like, dude, I do not care. We are talking about this on Tuesday. Look, NBA trade deadline's on Thursday. If you don't think we're not going to talk about the NBA trade deadline and potential moves as they happen, you're wrong.
Yeah.
We are. We're going to be talking when it's Tuesday and Thursdays. We're going to be talking about basketball. We'll hit wrestling, of course. This is still allegedly a wrestling podcast, but we're going to be talking about basketball through the end of the season because my team is good and the Lakers are they've been playing well, and now they've got Luka Doncic. So both of our teams are playoff
team in sports.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some actual wrestling. Actually, they said a couple of super chats. Ryan Lambert says, so we're going to talk about the Bulls news, right? Luka, who did he beat at TNA Bound for Glory or WrestleMania? Who did the second round pick the Bulls got for Zach LaVine ever beat at WrestleMania?
It's like the Sacramento Kings trying to compete with the Dallas Mavericks for dumb moves.
No, the Kings made a fine move. No. The Kings are fine.
They gave up De'Aaron Fox.
They got Zach. De'Aaron Fox wasn't going to resign. He already said he wasn't going to resign. They got Zach LaVine. They didn't get, nothing in return.
I mean,
they got Zach LaVine like three firsts.
They have traded
firsts.
They've traded De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, and gotten back what?
Sabonis, Zach LaVine, and 3 firsts. That's not a terrible trade. That's not awful.
All right.
You can like De'Aaron Fox as much as you want. That's fine. De'Aaron Fox.
I love De'Aaron Fox. And
how many playoff victories does De'Aaron Fox have?
I think him and Wemby are going to be an excellent combination.
Yeah, I think him and Wemby are going to be great together. But let's not act like De'Aaron Fox was a complete superstar. He's not Luka Doncic.
He led them to their first playoff seed in 2 decades.
How many playoff wins did they get? How many series victories did he get?
They got 3.
They got 1. They got 0 series.
No, victories. You said how many wins? You said how many wins first. I was answering the first. I was answering the first question. I ignored.
I did say that first. They got 3 playoff wins in how many years of De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah. Like 6.
Yeah, 3 playoff wins. I like De'Aaron.
I think this 2025 trade deadline is already generational. It might be the best trade deadline of all time.
No, I don't think the Kings did bad in that deal. The Bulls are the team that I'm like, what do you traded Zach LaVine for nothing? You're telling me Zach LaVine didn't have more value than what they got out of him? It felt like they could have flipped him elsewhere and gotten a lot more back. The Kings are fine. The Kings, it's Malik Monk's team now. Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis. It's
like saying Sabonis team. It's Sabonis' team. Don't say
Malik Monk's team, man.
Don't
it's Malik Monk. Malik Monk's been playing great.
You're talking about Laker great, Malik.
Yeah, Malik Monk's been great.
Like a legend, Malik Monk.
I'm not gonna slander Malik Monk out here. I'm not
either.
They beat the Timberwolves. They beat the Timberwolves last night. Monk had 26, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. It's his team. It's his team. No Malik Monk slander.
I'm not slandering. I would call them a Laker great, Laker legend. I appreciate Malik Monk. But yes, we got to talk about some wrestling. You had
real quickly. Hold on. Okay. I got it. SP3.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
Okay.
Tenruz is saying Joel Pearl with the heel turn joining Zarian now. I saw that. I was like, what is happening? Joel won't work Tuesdays on this show, but he just jumps into Zarian's show. The problem is I can't get to Zarian's show because he does not use StreamYard. I would like to jump in and basically simul stream here, but I can't do it because Joel, they don't use StreamYard on their show. So yeah, I can't. Otherwise, I would 100% crash that show. But yeah, Joel, he got the taste of the main channel. He gets the taste every Monday of the main channel. I know it's on Thursdays, Impact, but nobody watches that. Sorry. He gets the taste of the main channel.
That's a shot at me.
Look, nobody watches ROH and TNA. Sorry.
No, they don't.
I love everybody who does those shows. They are what they are. Thursdays are the dead spot. I know that. My show was on Thursdays, Thursday morning. Saw what happened there. Joel gets a taste of the main channel, and he's like, I'll pop on Zarian's show. Forget In the Weeds. Forget that show. Terrible.
It's like they're talking about basketball. I'm not interested.
Oh, here's some breaking news. Here's some basketball and wrestling tie-in for you, SP3.
Okay.
NBA Celebrity All-Star Game rosters announced.
Okay.
You know who is playing from the WWE universe?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be one of these three people:
Okay.
The Miz, Bianca Belair, or Montez Ford.
You are incorrect. 0 for
Wow.
3.
Okay.
0
Who is
for
it?
3. Bailey. Bailey will be playing NBA Celebrity All-Star Game.
I did not expect that. I
Yeah.
did not expect that. That's a
There you
good
go.
shout. Good
She
shout.
will be teaming with Matt Barnes, Chris Bickley of NBA 2K fame, Drewski, Terrell Owens, Shabuzi, and then people I don't really know.
I like understood like three of those names. I would
Kai
have thought.
Sanat, by the way, he's on the other team. The
I can
coaches
see
are
that.
Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds and Jerry Rice are the coaches. That rules.
I forgot it's in San Francisco, and yeah, that makes sense with
Yeah,
Bailey.
that makes sense.
That makes sense with Bill. I should have. If you would have told me, oh, it's in San Francisco,
I didn't know it was in San Francisco.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
I would have figured it out. I would have thought though. You know who's gonna be a regular for the Celebrity All-Star Game once they really get their official call up? Lash Legend.
Yeah, I can see that.
She should be like a regular there, and she will be able to really like stand out.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, let's get into WWE Raw. The big news coming out of WWE Raw. There's a lot of stuff that happened, but I think the biggest thing, and it's the thumbnail, so we'll talk about it. Roman Reigns is out for the foreseeable future. Michael Cole announced that they could not get an official update on Roman Reigns because Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns like to keep that close to the vest. They're not going to give you but so much. But Cole received a message from the trainer saying that Roman Reigns will be out for the foreseeable future. Seth Rollins took credit for this because he delivered the double stomp to Reigns at the Royal Rumble. And he said, I hurt Roman Reigns. I put him on the shelf. He's not going to be back. He likes working a part-time schedule anyway. So you're welcome, Mr. Roman Reigns. What do you see for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? What is his path to WrestleMania, in your opinion, SB3?
I think that Roman Reigns is probably going to come back, I would say sometime either before or after Elimination Chamber. And it's going to be because it's going to look like we're making Seth Rollins versus CM Punk official for WrestleMania. And then Roman's going to come back to make it a three-way. I find it very baffling, the booking of Royal Rumble and Monday Night, because out of Monday Night and what happened on Saturday, it really feels like Roman and Punk can't happen. You can't do Roman and Punk without Seth. Seth is the glue to all of this. Like, Seth was the catalyst of what happened at the Royal Rumble. It was the hatred and the moment that Roman and Seth had that led to them both being eliminated by Punk, and then Punk get eliminated right after by Logan Paul, led to the whole three-way brawl on the outside. And it was Seth who was the one that took out Roman with honestly, people were telling me about the steel step stomp, and I'm like, did you not see the first stomp? I replayed that shit like 3-4 times. Dude went double 2 feet to the skull. Oh my God. That's one of the most vicious double stomps Seth's ever done in his career. And then he brawls with Punk. He lays him out. You got the Punk in the favor thing, but that feels like it's like a third element of all of this. Like, I don't see, like, literally coming out of Royal Rumble, it felt more like we were going to get Roman versus Seth or Seth versus Punk more than Punk versus Roman. Or everybody is like assuming we're going to get this three-way. So I think that, yeah, Roman will be out until around Elimination Chamber time. He comes back to make the three-way with Roman, Seth, and Punk.
Does he get into Elimination Chamber, whether it's a qualifying match or, they open the door so someone can leave because they got eliminated, and here comes Roman to spear Seth, who I assume is going to qualify by beating Finn Balor and CM Punk? who is already qualified by beating Sami Zayn? Do you think he interferes or is in Elimination Chamber?
I am going to put it at like 75%. That seems like it would be the thing to do. You have him come out, spear Seth. It just looks like he's going to screw over Seth, but then he also spears Punk for eliminating him from the Royal Rumble, and he costs both of them the Elimination Chamber, and that's how you set up the three-way. You could do something like that.
Okay, so let's say it is Roman, Seth, and CM Punk, which it does look like they set up at Royal Rumble. Is that headlining one of the nights?
I would assume yes. I think that it is right now because of the momentum. I think because of the reaction online to Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble and it not being as unanimous, as universally praised as I initially when it happens. I'm like saying to all my friends on a watch along, I was like, this is the most shocking Royal Rumble victory ever. Like, it wasn't what I predicted at all, but it's at least it's a risk. It's a different type of booking. It's one of the more bolder bookings. I know there's people like, oh, it's not bold. He's the most over guy in the company. No, yeah, like y'all, the people that's comparing this shit to, I'm sorry, now I can curse for an hour and a half. The people that's comparing this shit to like Kofi Kingston and Bryan Danielson, y'all are delusional. Y'all are goddamn delusional. This is the equivalent of Vince McMahon booking Zack Ryder to win the 2012 Royal Rumble. That it very, very popular mid-card act that's based on one word, woo, 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 yeet. That got over to the point that he was as popular or more popular than your main event stars, that was a number one draw in merchandise, that really changed how the company was kind of doing stuff. That checks the boxes with Zack Ryder in the end of 2011. That's basically I basically described Zack Ryder at the end of 2011. It's the same thing with Jey Uso. This is more equivalent to that. I feel like it came more together with the promo on Monday, where it feels more akin to my boy Sat Iyangi. He made the comparison of the Jey Uso rise to Eddie Guerrero, a guy that has just grows in popularity, study, and then the company says, you know what? Hey, we're going to take a risk on you. You might not believe that you're ready to be this main event single star, but we believe in you. The fans believe in you. You deserve this spot, and they give it to him. That's more akin, like the promo, the genuineness, the endearingness that he had in that promo last night. That felt more like the Eddie Guerrero comparison that Sat had. But I'll tell you, I think my Zack Ryder comparison is pretty on point as well, coming out of the Royal Rumble. And I think that online, it probably would have got the same response in 2012.
I think, yeah, people would have hated it in 2012 if they went with Zack Ryder. But I think the crowd liked Zack Ryder. The crowd
They cheered Zack Ryder over The Rock after The Rock's return match in Madison Square Garden. They loved Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder was a number one merch mover at the end of 2011. Zack Ryder changed how the company was doing social media and YouTube. He was on fire at the end of 2011, and they got him a little bit. They gave him a little bit, like, here's the U.S. title. And if he loses the U.S. title right after and then wins the Royal Rumble, I think that would have gotten a huge pop. They loved Zack Ryder at that time. I think that you're probably thinking, oh no, Jey Uso is much more over. Well, that's because the company is much more over and hotter than it was in 2011, 2012.
I know Zack Ryder was very popular. I know it was very over. I don't feel like it was sustained. And look, I could be misremembering. My memory on this stuff sucks. I don't know if it was sustained the way Jey Uso has been sustained. I think that's one thing people try to discredit when it comes to Jey. This is not a flash in the pan. Oh, he's just been doing the cool entrance for a couple of months. He's been getting the yeet chants and the yeeting and stuff. They've been going crazy for this man for nearly a year now. Like
It's been more than a year. This really started at the summer of 2023 with the bloodline.
Yeah, when he faced Roman at SummerSlam. It died a little bit at the end of 2023 because I don't know how many the Jimmy, like his feud with Jimmy, he was so, and this is why I said it was a discredit to the WrestleMania match, because Jay was way up here going into WrestleMania and Jimmy was down here. And look, the match wasn't good, but the investment wasn't great in that match either, despite the fact that people loved Jay because the people weren't there with Jimmy. Like, I don't know if Zack Ryder was popular, but he was not sustained popular. Like,
that's because the company believed in Jey Uso. The company did not believe in Zack Ryder.
Oh, 100%. And look, if they had given Zack Ryder a Royal Rumble victory, it would have gone a long way in people believing in him. The reaction probably would have been, oh, wait, this guy is what it's going to be. The fan reaction online, clearly WWE is, in this case, rightfully not all that concerned about. They're not.
They should, and they shouldn't be. I think that the reason why it was like kind of being like, oh, will they, is because we literally are 1 year from the whole Cody and Rock thing. But that's totally. I think that these are two different situations that they're trying to apply kind of the same kind of standard of stuff. But if the live crowd is into Jey Uso, they need to just stay the course. But I don't see Jey Uso headlining either night of WrestleMania. I see him opening night 2, yeeting it up, beating Gunther.
Okay, so you think Roman, Punk, Rollins headlines night 1?
Yeah.
No title?
No title.
And then Cody Cena headlines night 2 title.
Yes.
Is that your call? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Here's what this was my hot take yesterday. I'm going to rehash it here today. Roman, Punk, Rollins headlines night 2. World title on the line. Gunther's title, the one Gunther currently holds, is on the line. He loses it to Seth Rollins at, I'm gonna call it now. He loses it to Seth Rollins Raw after Elimination Chamber. Seth Rollins wins Elimination Chamber, and he faces Gunther Raw after Elimination Chamber. He wins the title. Okay, night 1 main event: Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, John Cena. That's your night 1 main event. That's my hot take.
That sounds kind of goofy. I don't like it. I like Jey versus Cody. I like Jey versus Cody. I wouldn't mind that. I like that. I've convinced myself that that's a good option because it is the overarching Cody versus the Bloodline storyline. It also meets the whole Jey wanting to feel like he has fully made it and beating the top guy in the company, and him basically trying to be acknowledged by Roman, where they can use other people in his story involved in this. Jimmy Uso, you could use Roman, you could use Solo, Cody could use it, his people, his vortex, Rock can show up and get involved in that as well. I can see something like that. That would be interesting to me.
I think there's a lot of meat to a Cody and Jey match.
There is.
I put Cena in there because Cena talked about, I'm going to headline WrestleMania. This is best for business and everything. So I think there is a world where Cena is in a main event spot. And look, it could very well be Cody. It could be Cena wins the Elimination Chamber and Cena faces Cody. That could be the match. But I also do think there's a lot of meat to a Jey and Cody match. Joel was trying to say that, it's two baby faces, too many baby faces in this. Cody's going to be a little dickhead during all of this. He's got a little brother, Jey. And then Jey is going to kind of fight back against that. The Gunther story, I thought Gunther's promo was good last night. I thought in one line, he explained why his reign has not been good. You didn't have to like the line. You didn't have to, I still don't think the reign has been all that great. But
WWE was doing a lot of admitting that they poorly booked their champions on that show last night. Because Gunther and Braun admitted that they have not been booked good lately on that show.
In one line, though, he did a good job of explaining I made these people believe I'm holding on for dear life when really I've been in control the entire time. It's all right, you know what? That's a good line. I believe it. Okay, I'm with you, Gunther. But I just saw this story with Gunther and Sami last year. It's very similar. The beats are very similar. I've seen Gunther down talk Jey, whether it was the Intercontinental title or whether it was the World title, literally a month ago before Saturday night's main event. I know for Jay's moment, beating Gunther might be big. Beating Cody Rhodes, that's just big. That's bigger. That's bigger than beating Gunther. Sorry, it is.
Yeah. Like I'm sorry. Like there's got to be more to this story of going with Jay. Like I know PW Insider had the report that this was planned at the beginning of January or in as far back as December. I don't believe you. like I hate to say that. I'm not saying PW Insider. I'm saying whoever told PW Insider that. I don't believe you. Why would you book the Royal Rumble winner to lose to the world champion a week before he wins the Royal Rumble? That doesn't make any sense. What makes more sense is that match was so good at Saturday night's main event, and the reaction to Jay and the fans believing that he could win that matchup and being on the edge of their seat, being there for the splash near fall and all that stuff. That's the decision maker that made Triple H be like, you know what? Everybody believes we're gonna have Cena, Roman, or Punk win. Let's swerve them. Let's have Jay win. I believe the fans will love that just as much, even more than any of the other options. I believe that more. That sounds more logical, more realistic than you saying, I planned a month ago for Jey Uso to lose to the world champion just to win the Royal Rumble and probably challenge that same world champion at WrestleMania. That does not sound believable.
Is there a world where Roman Reigns does not main event WrestleMania?
Yes.
Okay.
There is a world where he doesn't.
Who does he have to face?
I think that the triple threat, even though it has such big stars, it doesn't make sense and feels weird without a title involved. I do agree with you as far as like what you were trying to do with your booking is making that match a title match, because I was utterly convinced before the Royal Rumble. I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty simple. You just have Punk win the Rumble, Roman beats Gunther at Elimination Chamber. There's our world title match. Like it worked really simple in my head. But like Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble tossed all that out the window, and now it really feels like we're gonna get a 9-title Roman WrestleMania match for the first time since 2019. Like it's insane, and the only reason that happened was because he had leukemia. Like if it wasn't for that, he would have had basically since. So probably the last time would have been 2017 when he beat The Undertaker in the main event of WrestleMania. Yeah. So it's weird to me that we might not get a Roman Reigns main event. He might not get number 10 this year because I don't think he's going to be in the title picture now that Jay's the Royal Rumble winner. I think we either get Jay versus Gunther, Jay versus Cody, or we're getting, and then the whoever Jay doesn't get, Cena gets the other guy.
The triple threat match feels like it has to be a main event.
Yes.
But I'm with you that if there's no title on the line, I think there's going to be a lot of backlash if it's not the main event. If there's no title on the line, there's going to be a lot of backlash if it is the main event. Because if that's the main event, and let's say Cody and Cena is the other main event because Cena wins Elimination Chamber, the Royal Rumble winner, either one of them, not getting a main event. I know WWE's fast and loose with the whole main event term and everything, but for the most part, I know there's been instances where they haven't done it. For the most part, since they've moved to 2 Royal Rumbles, I think there's only been 1 year where the Royal Rumble winner was not one of the main event matches. Certainly since they've gone to 2 nights, the Rumble winner has always been in one of the main event matches. Yes. Now, I know the past couple of years, the women's winner has not been in the main event, but the men's winner has. I think since it was when Nakamura won and Asuka won, neither of them main evented that year. Since then, the Rumble winner, one of them, has always been in a main event. So I have a hard time believing that both Rumble winners will not get a main event match. But right now, Jey Uso, again, right now, February 4th, Jey Uso and Gunther doesn't feel like a main event match.
No.
Largely because we just saw, at least in my view, Charlotte and Tiffany doesn't quite feel like a main event match. Charlotte and Rhea doesn't quite feel. Like
I mean, they gotta fix Charlotte's character after last night.
I don't know why they tried to babyface her. I get it because
either. It never works. We've done this 3 times. How do you not realize this doesn't work?
Here's the thing. I actually do understand why they tried to babyface her, because coming off the injury, you would think, oh, she's gonna get a good babyface reaction. She's gonna be sympathetic and stuff. Fine. I agree that yes, theoretically that would be the case. Here's the problem. All the vignettes you ran it was all heel bullshit. Yes. No one's sympathizing with Charlotte when she's spending her time on a yacht and talking about how great she is and talking about it's time for me to reclaim everything and top girl shit. No one's looking at that and being like, oh man, I feel so bad for Charlotte that she's been out for a year. They're looking at that and like, man, she's been away for a year. She's already done all this and she's just going to come back and reclaim the top spot. Yeah, I don't really like her. So I understand maybe you had a point where they're going to sympathize with her because she's been out for a year. The vignettes you ran healed her, and you just undercut your own babyface talking point right there. The vignettes should have been more about, they should have been kind of what the promo was last night, was training to get back. The doubt of, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back. I got a lot to prove. You know, it's been a year since I've been gone. Look how the division changed. This person's here. This person. Like, I got to get back to that spot. I'm going to work really hard. I'm coming to prove myself once again. Then people might be like, okay, let's see what Charlotte can do. But the vignettes they ran were complete heels. And then she comes in, by the way, at number 27. Not like she underdogged her way into
huge pyro.
This Royal Rumble. Yeah, it's a huge pyro, which popped me. Love Charlotte Flair. # bow down. Comes in at number 27. And then it eliminates a couple of people. And it's like, oh, Charlotte's back. It's like, this is not a babyface move. This is heel stuff right here. Baffling.
It is baffling that she tried to go, oh, I missed you all, even if it was the boos or the cheers. And then they just said, boo, boo. And then she goes, you know, I came back from a surgery that not a lot of people come back from, guys. Boo! We didn't want you to come back. Boo! And then she's like, yo, it was just all over the place. Because then finally she's like, you know, you can boo me now. And it was like, oh, okay, now you're going back to the heel Queen Charlotte Flair character. Then Rhea Ripley comes out and she's still trying to be a baby face. Like, she's like, I was trying to have a moment with Cleveland. Like, she was just all over the place. Like, I was just like, wow, y'all really thought you were gonna do babyface Charlotte. It really, to me, it just feels like this is probably what Charlotte thought was the right move, because they probably are gonna do Charlotte versus Tiffy, and Tiffy can feel like she can be more of the kind of arrogant, cocky heel against a persevering Charlotte Flair. But like you said, the vignettes and the video packages that they played ahead of the Royal Rumble was trying to make her out to be the top girl that was upper echelon, a different version of herself. But they tried to do babyface Charlotte. They tried to do the queen heel Charlotte Flair during last night's promo. It was a mess. Pick a direction. And especially considering all of the champions are popular, regardless of if they're babyface or heel. They're all popular. Tiffy is technically still a heel, but she's been getting big cheers everywhere, every week out. Like Rhea Ripley, one of the most popular acts in the entire company. Julia's popular over in NXT, but like, it just doesn't make sense why they made that decision. That was probably the most baffling moment of last night, even more than the whole Roman Reigns injury story.
I think the Roman Reigns injury story was that baffling. I mean, he's on a vacation again. Bless him.
Yeah. I love Seth saying, I was just helping him out. Helping him out. He take time off anyway. That was a great promo. Yeah. Great promo.
Seth all black came to the funeral. I like how they tried to fight Punk in the aisleway. And then
Yo,
Kevin
it was
Owens.
like it's on site. That whole main event angle was probably the main event matchup between Sami Zayn and CM Punk. Arguably, probably the best match that they've had on Raw and Netflix so far. It was just it felt kind of gritty at times. Like they were really scrapping at certain points too. They were hitting each other really hard hitting stuff. The moment with Punk saying, "You're not on my level. See that sign? You're never gonna get to it." And then the whole exchange with the Sami near fall, just an excellent moment. And then the finish was great as well. Just a tremendous match between them. And then the post match with Kevin Owens. So the other question is, do you think that we get Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, WrestleMania?
I would think so. Look, he got hit with the package pile driver. You got to keep Sami off of television for a little bit after this. But I wonder where Randy Orton fits in because he's been off television for months now after the pile driver.
This is why I think they do Sami and KO in Toronto to set up Orton's return.
Okay.
Because it feels like Sami, they've been juggling around like 2 or 3 matches for Sami at WrestleMania. Like I'm doing an article for predictions on WrestleMania card, and he's like the hardest one to fit in.
Karrion Kross.
That's basically what I've come down to, is that if they do the KO match in Toronto, he's not versing. I thought they were building him and Seth, because that felt like it's been like the longest built feud over on Monday Night Raw since like before Survivor Series, basically. And they could have culminated that with a big one-on-one matchup at WrestleMania, but Seth is so entrenched in the Punk and Roman stuff that he's not going to verse Sami anymore. So, like, yeah, it's probably Sami and Karrion Kross, which is good for Karrion because he gets a singles match. So I'm happy for him.
He hasn't. When was the last time Karrion Kross wrestled? Was it the Wyatt 6 street fight?
Yeah, I think it was the Wyatt 6 8-person tag.
Yeah, that was early December. That was December 9th. It's been 2 months since he's wrestled on television.
But he's got more over. He's got more over in this whole him getting involved with the main event players.
He's been good with this little backstage stuff and tying everything. He does his best on social media as well to see I'm the reason for all of this. So it makes sense. You know what's a better match for Sami at WrestleMania? Him and Drew, where he finally beats Drew McIntyre. I know they're doing Drew and Priest. At least that's what it looked like they set up at Royal Rumble. I'm way more interested in Sami and Drew and Sami finally trying to overcome Drew McIntyre or losing to Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre still has that one thing over Sami Zayn.
I mean, you sound like the other issue I've had with this predictions article is figuring out a better match for Drew McIntyre. Because I'm sorry, I love Damian Priest. I'm a big Damian Priest fan. I think that he is a fringe main eventer. He could be an occasional top guy for the company, and I think he's going to be a world champion again for WWE. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest is a nothing match at WrestleMania. And it's not a nothing match as an insult to Damian Priest. And no, it's not an insult to Damian Priest to say Drew deserves better, because Drew McIntyre has been the best character in WWE over the last year. He put on the feud of the year. He's been the best on the mic. He deserves much better. But he feels like Seth Rollins in 2022. Seth Rollins in 2022 was a top guy. He was one of the best in the company, but he felt lost. You know what they did? They put him in like some open challenge against a returning AEW guy. Oh, who might just happen to be Cody Rhodes. I know an AEW guy who actually debuted against Cody Rhodes in AEW who might be free around March. I think that probably the best option for Drew is him versus Aleister Black at WrestleMania. Make it like a Drew open challenge. And that's the big, because then that's big for Aleister Black because he's coming in and he's versing one of the top guys. So that initially makes him a higher position than where he left WWE and has him come in to a big time matchup at WrestleMania. And for Drew, he gets to make somebody, and he's in that Seth Rollins position from 2022. I think that's better than Damian Priest.
You're higher on Aleister Black than I am.
I know I'm higher on Aleister Black than you. I know you don't like the spooky stuff or whatever. But we have to realize that I don't make fantasy predictions or fantasy booking off of stuff that I think I would book. I'm booking it off of things that I think Triple H and WWE would book. Triple H is a big Malachi Black, Aleister Black guy. So is Paul Heyman, who is basically like Bruce Pritchard kind of has the role on paper officially, but the number 2 to Triple H to me is Paul Heyman. And Aleister Black is a Paul Heyman guy. So I think when he comes back, he's going to have a big matchup.
Yeah, but if you're doing that and then Malachi, Aleister wins and beats Drew, at least with Damian Priest, I think Drew is going to win that match. I don't really love Drew lose. What do you mean, what does it matter?
What's the matter if he wins? Wins and losses don't matter here.
I think it's better to beat Damian Priest than come in and lose
in a nothing match. In a nothing match. 4th match on the card on night 2 of WrestleMania.
I don't know if Aleister Black is a big match.
That's a guy returning to the company who was just with AEW. That is a big
He hasn't been on AEW television forever, and his spot in AEW...
He was in AEW television in December. That's 2 months ago.
Oh, it'll be 3 months before he gets back.
3 months ago. Penta was on AEW television. Penta was on AEW television 5 months ago. They pushed him like the next
week. And they put Penta in a singles match against Chad Gable. They didn't give him a big WrestleMania debut
because he didn't come to the company around WrestleMania time. That's the only reason. He'll probably have a good role in the Intercontinental title ladder match at WrestleMania.
But they didn't even put Penta on the Netflix debut. They didn't even put Penta on the Rumble. They gave him a match on Raw, which is big.
They put him. He was the Iron Man in the Rumble. They pushed him in the Rumble.
Yes, I know, but that wasn't his debut. That's what I'm saying.
But pushing him, he's getting a push.
Yes, because he's a WWE guy now. He's not.
No, he's still an AEW guy.
Still
an AEW guy that they're trying to prove that they can push better.
I think this really just comes down to you're higher on Aleister Black than I am. I don't see Aleister Black.
No. You did not hear what I just said. I am higher. I know WWE is higher on Aleister Black than either one of us. That's why I'm booking that.
Okay. I'll take your word that they're higher on Aleister Black. The fact that he's doing, it seems like he is the dark arts person that Chad Gable is going to. That's the rumor and innuendo. So I don't know how high they are on Aleister Black. I know how high they were, 5 years ago in NXT Black and Gold, but I don't know what that means. Nowadays, the landscape has shifted. He was in AEW. He was a mid-card guy in AEW. He was not Cody Rhodes in AEW. Him leaving and reinventing himself, which he didn't really do in AEW, he did not take the Cody Rhodes journey.
Can't wait for that theme song to hit, and he gets the biggest pop of the night.
It was a cool theme. No man,
theme song was
awesome. God.
No man is never truly
foul.
And you will never be equal. No man is ever really good.
The entrance is great. The entrance is great. I still think he's a good wrestler.
That's gonna get the pop. Come on, that's gonna get the pop.
I still think he's a good wrestler. I'm not beating Drew. That's another thing. It's like I don't love the idea of beating Drew because I don't think he's losing to Damian Priest.
What are we doing with Drew immediately after WrestleMania that he needs to get a WrestleMania win?
I'd have Drew in one of the title pictures. So here was the point I made on Monday is, Drew was reportedly frustrated with how things went down in the Rumble. And so he walked out. He was mad at LA Knight because he had to get his moves in, and he felt it took away from the elimination from Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just the LA Knight stuff. Maybe it was. If I'm Drew, I'm probably just a little irritated of how everything has kind of played out over the last year, where he did everything in his power with the CM Punk feud, who CM Punk was injured for the first half of that. And he had to carry things, wrestling more often and holding his own on the microphone. And he lost the big matches to Punk. I know he won the SummerSlam match where Seth Rollins was the referee, but he lost the blow off to all of that. He lost to Jey Uso on Raw on Netflix debut. He's worked and he's mentioned Roman Reigns. He had the segment with Paul Heyman after the 2K cover reveal, and he mentioned Reigns and he mentioned Punk, and then he just gets put in a spot with Damian Priest, which doesn't feel like a big spot.
No.
It feels like he's irritated at more than just LA Knight and Logan Paul messed up my elimination. Feels like he's irritated at just the whole situation that's played out of what happened in 2024 with CM Punk. CM Punk has said this himself. He's like, I understand Drew's perspective. I understand he's probably mad that I come in and it looks like I'm just waltzing back in to this main event scene, and you've been here for years. And you didn't really get your WrestleMania moment. You got your WrestleMania moment in a warehouse. And then the next year when fans did return, you lost. You didn't get that big WrestleMania main event. I think Drew is irritated at various things, and it kind of came to a head at Royal Rumble. So I'd be looking at Drew to do kind of bigger things at WrestleMania, then a Damian Priest match, then it losing to a returning Aleister Black. That's just
Sami Zayn matchup. They've done that like repeatedly. Like you may be more invested in that, and I think there is a story there with the whole 11-0. But they've done that match so much that it's going to feel, in a sense, like a nothing match. Like, oh, okay, you think that's a nothing match? Well, we got Sami for you. How about that? That's like. And Drew's probably going to be like, well, that's on the same level because I literally just faced and beaten Sami. What am I getting out of this? Are you doing a career matchup, a career retirement matchup? That's probably the only thing that would draw some interest and why Drew would want to do a match against Sami at WrestleMania.
Okay, here's my pitch. Drew McIntyre, Wyatt 6, decapitation match. Drew can
already have a decapitation match. It's going to be Wyatt 6 versus the Judgment Day, because now you can put Bliss. You can put Bliss with the Wyatt 6. That will follow up from the Royal Rumble thing. Five person tag. There you go.
Just Drew's that meme. He's got like the Wyatts coming at him. They're on like horses. Drew's the meme where he takes the sword out. You know what I'm talking about? That's all I want. Just Drew takes the sword out and he's got the spooky Wyatts coming after him. Some of them could be on horses. I don't care. And Drew's ready to battle them all. That's what we need.
You just always want you always want people to die, don't you?
Yeah, there's not enough murder in pro wrestling. Yes. What are we talking about? Of course.
It's kind of disturbing. I won't lie to you. I won't hold you.
It's wrestling. People can die. It's okay.
Okay. I don't want to see people die.
They're not really dead. I'm not.
I know that. Death.
Some characters.
It's a little awful.
SP3. You know it. You know television shows. You watch TV.
Yeah.
Some characters need to die. Sometimes you got to kill off a character.
This is true. I think that's the issue with Cobra Kai right now. But yeah, I agree.
They killed somebody. At least they killed somebody.
They need to kill a main character. Don't kill somebody that you literally just made someone to kill them.
So we need more of that in wrestling too. Make somebody to kill them. That's fine with me. Just kill people.
You want them to literally make a character with the direct intention to kill him.
Yeah, that would rule. Then they come back. They can have a mask on, whatever. You don't know it's them. Be great. Fantastic. I gave up on Stranger Things like 2 seasons in. So
that's another one. That's another one. Someone please die already. Like, how do all of y'all survive Vecna? Like, yo, he had this girl like dead to rights, and all they had to do was play a song. And all it saved her. Keep running up that hill. Keep running at that road.
Yeah, that's a
great scene. Great scene.
Yeah, who cares about Stranger Things? That's gonna be forever tied to the OC. Will Chisholm sends a super chat. Says Paul Heyman was so much of a Malachi guy that when he ran Raw. He tried to get Vince to let him win the Rumble. I know Paul Heyman loves Malachi. I know. So when Malachi comes back, I assume he'll get a pretty decent spot. His level of spooky stuff is not for me. It's not hokey enough for me. I like the mist. I like how, like, if it makes people react different ways, I think you can do something with that. But he just likes to do like the lore for the sake of the lore.
Oh my god, I would love if he hit the miss on Drew, and Drew like
decapitates him with his sword.
Dude, no, he does like vignettes of him at home blind, like he's Sandman in 1993. Like he's doing Twitter videos, like can't even work out. It's not safe for me to do my lifts as I'm blind.
Ryan says
Drew would be able to put that over. Drew would get that over.
Terrible use of Drew McIntyre. Ryan says that seems like a good use of the Miz. The Miz doing that would be good.
That would be pretty good. I think Drew would be excellent.
Ryan says Jay goes for the NXT or the TNA title. Like Joe Hendry wants to be at WrestleMania, so they're gonna have an entrance off. Kidding me? Just the yeeting and then the clapping, and then they're just gonna stand there, and it's just gonna be all based on aura, and that's it. They're gonna stand there for 10 minutes, and they're gonna go yeet, and they're gonna go yeet, yeet. That's 10 minutes. And then finally, someone's just going to be like, all right, you win. And then just going to lay down. And that's the whole match. They're not going to wrestle at all. Just nothing but aura in that match. And then Jey Uso.
Aura off. Aura off. There you go.
I think this is great. And his rules.
Sounds like your type of wrestling.
Who cares about wrestling? That's dumb as hell. Jey Uso and Oba for me would be pretty cool, actually. It's a good match.
Would be. I would like that. I would like that.
A couple from Tenruza real quickly. These has nothing to do with wrestling, but Grammy talk. Hell of a night. 5-time bro Kendrick Lamar. Yep. And K-Dot in a Canadian tuxedo. GNX Grammys 26. Yeah, he's going to continue to rack them up. Look, man, they're going to stomp on that man's grave on Sunday at the Super Bowl, and it's going to be hilarious.
It's going to be absolutely so hilarious. Good to see Taylor Swift singing A minor.
Oh, that ruled. You know, he was so mad. You know, he got a group chat with Beyonce and Taylor, and he's like, fuck y'all. And then he deleted them out of his contacts and everything. He was so mad when that happened.
Yo, he got fucking freaking academics out here trying to dox and freaking accuse LeBron of cheating on his wife with girls that Drake got for him, like trying to accuse LeBron James of going to freak offs. Like, yo, I'm like, he didn't even do it. It was the other guy. He just danced to a song. Now he can't dance to a song. The cops coming to get academics right now for all that.
That guy. We're not talking about him. Not doing that at all. AJ Styles has moved to WWE Raw as part of the transfer window that is closed. But, you know, sometimes deals still trickle through. They were held up at the league office. They had to make sure the paperwork was correct. And they managed to get the deal through. Seems like he's setting up something for Logan Paul, at least because he talked about Logan Paul eliminating him at the Royal Rumble. So maybe that's the WrestleMania match for AJ and Logan Paul.
I don't know. It really depends on how many WrestleMania matches they're gonna have. Because I like I said, I'm working on an article. I have like 18, and I don't think there's gonna be that many. I'm literally doing 18
because multi-person matches you got.
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. I got a 6-person ladder match. I got a 4-way for the women's tag team titles. A 4-way for the men's WWE tag team titles. I got a 4-way for the U.S. Championship. I got a 5-person decapitation matchup with Judgment Day and the Wyatt Six. And then the triple threat that we already discussed. I think there's gonna be a lot of multi-person matches on this card.
Yeah, it does seem like they're gonna stack it with some multi-person matches. I do expect a women's multi-person ladder match for one of the whether the women's Intercontinental or the women's U.S. title. I think we're going to get a multi-woman ladder match.
I think we do. They throw the multi-woman for the tag team division because they have been slowly but surely kind of filling up the tag team division with different pairings, and you can throw in like a Jade, a Bianca Jade or Bianca Naomi or Naomi Jade.
Did they remember Jade exists?
I think that Jade will be back in time for WrestleMania, where that's when they'll do the reveal of the turn. I don't think they're gonna do the investigation of who attacked her at all.
This investigation sucks.
They said that and they stopped literally when they said it. I think that both women's mid-card titles probably they do. I can see one. I could probably see the U.S. title being defended in a multi-person matchup, but I think that's gonna be probably the night that Jordynne Grace wins the U.S. Championship, and I think that the Intercontinental title will probably be Lyra versus Becky.
Okay, so you think 2 singles matches for the mid-card titles?
No, I can see them doing like I said, I can see them doing a Jordynne Grace versus Chelsea Green matchup for the U.S. title. Just make it simple and to the point. Or I can see them throwing in like your Piper Nivens, your Meachins into that. I can see what you're saying, where they make that a multi-person matchup as well.
Okay, all right. Enormous says, in the immortal words of Rick James, it's a celebration. My Wizards have won 2 in a row. Congrats, Enormous. The parade starts at 3. Look, the Timberwolves are lucky that the Luka Doncic trade went down because we were ready to clown all over them for losing to the Wizards. And then Luka got traded, and it's like, all right, you know what? Maybe we're not so worried about the Timberwolves losing. And then Bianca winning the chamber. Possibly. I know the talk was Bianca and Rhea, and if Charlotte picks Tiffany, then that's going to leave Rhea's title open. So possibly Bianca and Rhea. I think Bianca needs a heel turn. I think she maybe not necessarily needs it because I know she sells a lot of merchandise and she's great with the media and Make-A-Wish and everything. But she's been a babyface for so long. I think it would be something refreshing to see her as a heel. And there was some, side eyeing when Naomi and Jordan were hugging and everything. And I've said that Bianca is behind the Jade Cargill attack. I know she was in the ring at the time, so it couldn't have been her personally, but I think she got the hit out on her. And I
can see her like working with Naomi to take out Jade because they look too happy together. It just wouldn't make sense for her to then, no matter what, if she's behind it, it doesn't make sense for her to then be distracted and cost herself a title because of that. Like, I know you had to sell it, but you could have sold it and just lost the match and not run away from the ring. It's gonna take either us to like suspend our disbelief or just a complete lack of logic to follow up with how Bianca is behind all of this. But I do agree with you. She does need a heel turn. And if she's going to go against Rhea Ripley, she's going to at least have to lean heel more than Rhea because the fans are going to choose Rhea over her. I could see them doing a Io Sky getting in on like a last chance type of thing and getting into the chamber and winning that because they did tease and push that matchup a lot last night, but it was so teased and pushed last night, it makes me believe they'll probably do Rhea and Io at Elimination Chamber.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see Rhea and Io at Elimination Chamber. I don't think that's a Mania match. I definitely don't think
I think it could be. I think it could deliver because I think that Rhea...
Oh, it'd be a great match.
Rhea arguably has better chemistry with Io than she even does with Charlotte based on their NXT matches. But I think that, yeah, for now, probably Io will probably be in that tag team title scene and then Rhea can face Bianca.
It'd be a great match, Rhea and Io. I just don't think it's a WrestleMania match. I don't know if they see Io as, that level. I know she was the champion going into last year and then Bayley defeated her and everything, but Io's just been she's been there. She's just been, we know we can count on Io to do good work, but they don't like fully get behind her with anything. So I just don't know if they're going to give her a big title match at WrestleMania against Rhea Ripley. Not with, they got Jordan coming in. They got Becky maybe coming back for Mania. Charlotte's obviously back. I don't know where Asuka stands with everything. right now. She might be returning, so they just have too many pieces there that I think they see Io as reliable, but not someone they're going full bore with.
I could see that. But I'm interested in that scene again for once, because I thought that match last night was really good between Io and Liv. The finish sucked, but the match
was awful.
It sucked.
The finish was awful. All right,
I'm sick of these stupid DQ finishes. I'm sorry, if you watch the Fightful main channel, I ranted for like a good 15 minutes about that Jacob Fatu whooping too much ass.
Oh, that I've always hated that finish of you're disqualified. I know he shoved the referee into like that was,
but literally the referee got in the way when he could have checked him. He could have checked Braun and called the match up.
Should stay out of the way. Yeah, she just stayed out of the way. From Fightful Select, this dropped yesterday. Sean was on the show yesterday and kind of teased this, and then here is the report from Fightful Select on Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is back in WWE and here to stay for a long time. Bliss had missed the last 2 years while out on maternity leave, and the company had looked to bring her back. They've officially done that as WWE hammered out a new 5-year deal with Bliss, as well as Paragon talents Mojo Rawley and Steve K. The deal was signed on Saturday, and Bliss was flown into Indianapolis for WWE Royal Rumble the same day, prior to Shotzi was going to be in that spot in the Royal Rumble. Bliss had been under a long-term deal previously, which had been extended due to absences. WWE sources claimed that Bliss and her reps wanted a new deal, while they wanted her to work on the deal she had previously had as they paid her during her leave. However, if a new deal wasn't reached, there would have been time remaining on the previous contract. So not technically re-signed, because re-signed implies that her deal was coming up or she was a free agent. That's not the case. She was under a deal. They worked out a new deal, and it is a 5-year deal. Mojo Rawley was on Twitter. He confirmed that Alexa signed a new deal as well. So Alexa's back. She's back with the Lily. Lily did not get plastic surgery. She shut down those claims. Don't know if she's on Raw. Don't know if she was on SmackDown. She was not on Raw last night. We'll see if she shows up on SmackDown. There were Wyatt 6 references in Lily, who has the 6 on the eye. There were Bray Wyatt references with the jacket, Fiend references with the jacket, Fiend Forever. We'll see if she gets paired up with the Wyatt 6, who are now on SmackDown. What do you think?
They need it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does with the Wyatt 6. So this came from Fightful Select. This was on January 29th. The Wyatt 6 are on SmackDown without appearing on SmackDown. The Wyatt 6 were moved to WWE SmackDown recently, but have yet to show up on the program. Many have assumed that the absence is related to Alexa Bliss and rumors regarding her not making a return. However, Fightful Select has heard of a different reason. Those we spoke to in the company claim that there's an injury-related reason preventing the Wyatts from being on television. It was also said that Alexa not being back yet hasn't necessarily affected long-term plans for the faction. So it might be they're not paired up until the injury, whatever it is, whoever it is healed and they're able to get back. The Wyatts don't exactly need to do a ton of wrestling. So I think as long as they can do vignettes, I've said they don't need to wrestle at all. Murder. That's what I could continue to advocate for. As long as they can do vignettes, it feels like they could be on television. It's just a matter of what are they going to do with them on television and on SmackDown. And now with Alexa back in the picture.
Yeah, they have to figure out like how they can use them in a way where it's consistent. Like that's the thing that's been missing. They were one of the better things when they first debuted, and we were getting like the vignettes where we were kind of unfolding what's going on with Eric Rowan, what's going on with Bo Dallas, and then they kind of just stopped doing those when they got into the whole Final Testament rivalry and with the Miz as well. And honestly, they stopped doing that even before then. After they were done with the American Made, they were done with like the vignettes and everything and kind of adding to the lore, adding to the layers and the characters. So hopefully with Bliss coming into play, they have a top star that can be the anchor that will get them guaranteed storyline focus and storyline investment, because that's what they've been missing. It's kind of just them been floating where they have the American Made storyline and they wash through them. Then they have the Final Testament storyline and they lost to the Final Testament and was kind of like, okay, that was weird. It put over Final Testament, and like I said, I think that Karrion Kross has gotten more over due to that with his character work, but the Wyatt Six has just been lost ever since that loss.
Well, I've been on television since that loss.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're lost. They're literally lost. We don't know where they went.
Maybe that's how Alexa's on SmackDown. She's like going grocery shopping, and the prices are absurd now. But she sees a milk carton, and it's like missing a Wyatt Six, and Alexa's like,
I remember y'all.
Yeah, she's got Lily with her, Detective Lily, replacing Detective Danhausen. But Alexa can now be a detective. They find the Wyatt Six. She's got to travel to the spooky cabin and everything. She's got to travel to the fun house to try to find everybody. Again, you can get tons of vignettes out of this stuff. Tons of material with Alexa being the Sherlock Holmes trying to find the Wyatt Six. This is my official pitch. Don't need no wrestling. Knock it off. Just murder mysteries.
Knock off all that wrestling nonsense. What are we talking about?
Dumb. Absolutely dumb. That's pretty much everything. I think that is everything. I know you had some star ratings, so this is going to be a taste for everybody. So on Thursdays, I think SP3 is the best when it comes to star ratings. I know other people get more credit and everything, but SP3 provides reasoning and depth to why he gave his star ratings, and is not just good match, I didn't like it, 5 stars, like other people will do. So every Thursday, SP3 is going to do more in-depth star rating talk. That's what we're going to do on this show for a segment. But for today, we're going to give a little preview of what that might look like. Just a taste. So pick a Rumble match. I know you've done star ratings for Rumble. Pick one. And what's the star rating, and why'd you give it that rating?
Do have to mention, yes, Alexa, I've seen her say it a couple of times in the chat. Raw felt like I was watching a 1990s WWF pay-per-view on the illegal cable box, because that joint was it was glitchy throughout, and not a lot of people were mentioning it, so I really thought it was just me. And then, like, when the ending happened after Sami and Punk, I started texting people. I was like, nah, this is too much. Like, anybody else getting this? And then everybody in my Trio Heat chat was like, nah, we got it too. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is terrible. Oh my God. So glitchy. All right, Women's Royal Rumble matchup. I gave the Women's Royal Rumble 3.5 stars. I thought that the beginning portion of the matchup was pretty fun with Liv and Io and Roxanne Perez. But then we got into the Def Rebel portion of the matchup, and it just completely drawn to a halt, where we don't know who's coming out. They get no pop. The no pops were just at like those deafening no pops were as loud, almost as loud as the pops we would get in the later portion of the matchup. But around we get to number 19 and Jordan Grace is out here, and then we get 21 Alexa Bliss with that. Yo, that is the loudest pop I think I've seen a female WWE superstar ever get. That was defining. And then, Trish, Nikki, Nia Jax with the 18-car pileup. I thought that was one of the more fun multi-person eliminations that I've seen in a Rumble. And it was kind of creative in the way they did that. Didn't understand why they didn't kind of set up different stuff or follow up and progress different stuff, like Roxanne. I thought like Roxanne should have been the one to eliminate Bailey. I know she eliminated Julia, so that was good to follow up that, but there wasn't a lot of seeds being sowed for storylines going up at WrestleMania in comparison to the Men's Rumble. But the last portion, and I thought the last portion should have had more between Charlotte and Roxanne, but the last portion, the latter half, was fun, so that's why I got 3.5 stars.
All right, there you go. All right, so as a teaser, what'd you give the Men's Royal Rumble?
4.5 stars.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought that was one of the better put together Royal Rumble matches. And honestly, the botched elimination of Drew McIntyre, it gives it replay value, honestly. Like, I know so many people that's gone back and watched just that portion. So like this might be like an all-timer Royal Rumble, because you're gonna have people that go back to just watch that spot, that go back to watch the three-way brawl between Punk, Roman, and Punk, Roman, and Seth, to see the early portion with like Joe Hendry coming out. That pop was great. Like, it had the comedy with IShow Speed getting destroyed by the Speed. It had everything you want from a Royal Rumble matchup, and I gave it the same rating I gave 2018, which I think is one of the best booked Royal Rumbles, 4.5 stars.
Did you take half a star off because Jey Uso won, and you're like, can't believe they put the Yeet Man over?
Nah, I give it a 1/4 star for going with Jey Uso. That's a bold decision. Like, everybody in their mom.
Wait, did you give it a 1/4 star less or a 1/4 star more?
1/4 star more. 1/4 star more.
Okay.
1/4 star more, because they went with a bold, shocking finish. The most shocking Royal Rumble winner of all time.
Okay. Of all time?
Most shocking Royal Rumble winner of all time. Yeah. I think Vince is the only one that comes close, but like, that's shocking in a bad way to me.
Yeah. My history is again terrible when it comes to memories of was this a shocking choice? Like, I remember bad winners. Like, Del Rio was a bad winner. I don't know if that was,
but he wasn't shocking. He wasn't shocking because he had the whole Destiny angle. Sheamus was a little surprising, but he was like the second biggest pick.
Shinsuke was pretty surprising.
Shinsuke had a lot of momentum heading into that. If you were going to go with the hardcore fans, Shinsuke was the person to go with. Roman had a lot of momentum heading into that, and I know a lot of people thought he was going to win, but Shinsuke was in the top 4 betting odds in 2018. I remember because I was like one of the first years I started looking at wrestling betting odds.
Okay. All right. I think Shinsuke was surprising because, it came down to him and Roman, and I think most people expected it to be Roman.
And Jay was plus 2,200 heading into the Rumble. Plus 2,200. Whoever betted on Jey Uso, they made a haul.
This was the holy shit moment of the night until 3 hours later when Luka Doncic got traded. Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, Jay. We stole your moment.
Because my reaction was the same thing. When Jay won, I was like, holy shit. And it was like, okay, sure. And then my holy shit got louder. Yeah, a couple hours later when Luka ended up getting traded. So, all right. So there you go. There's some star ratings from SP3. We'll get some more on Thursday. Another thing we're going to be doing on Tuesdays. It's what we did in FMC. I'm going to keep track of these just like I did on FMC. We're going to use the same list here, even though I know now we're switching from basketball to wrestling. But we're going to do Hot Take Tuesdays, everybody. Okay? So let's pull this up. Share screen. We're going to give some hot takes, and then we can look back on these, and we can be called idiots, or we can take a victory lap on these, on what's happening here. Okay. Do you have one, SP3, or would you like me to go first?
I have one because I'm basically just going to use one. I've been doing a lot of fantasy booking as of late. I tried my hand at fantasy booking the end of the Royal Rumble, and they gave it to me like 3 entrants earlier because I basically booked what happened with Punk, Roman, and Seth, but in a different way. But my other booking, and that's my hottest take, John Cena will win number 17 at WrestleMania to lose on the Raw after WrestleMania to Jacob Fatu.
Oh, that's very hot. I like that. All right, wins world title 17 at WrestleMania, loses to Jacob Fatu at Raw after Mania. All right, I like that. That's a very hot take. Okay.
What you got?
So I feel like I kind of have already done one of my hot takes with the 2 triple threat matches headlining WrestleMania. So I'm not going to rehash that one. Here's a hot take. I don't have any insights. I don't know anything. Ricky Starks will be a champion at the end of the year. I'll go a hotter take. I'll make it a little bit hotter. Ricky Starks will be the WWE Intercontinental Champion at the end of the year.
Wow.
That's my hot take.
See, I think I'm gonna like these wrestling hot takes even more than the basketball one. The basketball ones was getting hard after a few. I think like with wrestling, we will have more.
It's a much bigger landscape to play off of. Yeah. There you go. So that's the hottest takes. We'll know SP3s in just a couple of months. We won't know mine until the end of the year. We'll look back and whether be proven idiots or we'll take giant victory laps.
I will be here for the victory lap every Tuesday and Thursday. So see you guys all again on Thursday. But thank you for giving me the honor of being your co-host on Tuesday and Thursday. I hope I fill in for Joel very proudly and make you guys proud being here full time.
We're 5 days a week nowadays, everybody. 5 days a week, every 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on Fightful Overbooked. Monday, Wednesday, Friday with myself and Joel Pearl. Tuesdays and Thursdays with myself, SP3. We'll continue to have guests on the show, trying to work on a couple of things for the rest of this week. We'll keep everybody informed of when the guests will appear, what time they will appear. NXT tonight. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Joel, I'm sure, will have takes on Raw, even though he decides to just go on Beyond the Bell with Andrew Zarian. Can't get him to work on this show on Tuesdays, but Andrew Zarian calls, and Joel is right there for him.
Damn shame.
Till then, we will be back again. Guys, if you haven't, leave a thumbs up on the video, like and subscribe. Tap the bell for notifications. Thank you guys for all the super chats. Appreciate everybody hanging around for a lot of basketball talk today. I'm not going to promise you're getting less basketball talk moving forward. I don't think we're going to quite do an hour and 15 minutes of basketball talk moving forward, but you're still going to get a lot of basketball talk on this show because trade deadline's on Thursday. The trade deadline is my favorite time of the year. And then the playoffs are right there. Both our teams are expected to be pretty well in the playoffs. They're both going to be there. We'll see how far they make it. Yes, SB3 will be back on Thursday. Myself and Joel will be back tomorrow. SB3, let them know where they can find you at.
You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live in about 30 minutes over on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel to give a more thorough breakdown of everything that went down on Monday Night Raw with my boy, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon. And yes, we're going to find out what Romeo thought about that Charlotte Flair segment and how much wrong he is to believe that Charlotte saved it. Join us.
Love Romeo. He's a queen truther like myself.
Yes.
Hashtag bow down, everybody. I got nothing to plug. I've plugged everything as it is. Joel will tell me if there's certain things that I need to plug moving forward. He'll keep me honest on the show. Until then, we'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern in the weeds. Take care, everyone.